What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1049 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here once again with my guest co-host for the day. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, Crisis Actors. My name is Olivia. I am the community manager here at Timcast. And we have a guest today in the studio.
What's up, guys? Your boy Brando back again for another Thursday of madness with the Dasovics here. Thank you for having me back. I am a producer, skateboarder, general talent, and all kinds of things.
Utility knife.
Yeah.
You're the Timcast utility knife.
Yes.
Like Batman has a utility belt.
Yes, he does. I guess being a belt would probably be cooler than being just a knife. Yeah.
No, you want to be the knife.
I'm down to be a belt.
That was a good transition there, by the way, for me to throw it to you. To whenever they do it on IRL and they have everybody kind of like go around the room, I'm very horrible at like then handing it off to the next person. So that was
you got to be ready to go. You got to have it like in your head, like, okay, community manager. Oh, look who's sitting next to me. Like you kind of just got it, because like when I did IRL last Friday, and there was I don't remember how, but it like went around, and all of a sudden they just looked at me, and I was like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, yeah, like it was like no. I was like, Hi. Yeah. So
before we get started on everything, we have a $20 super chat here from Katie. She says, "Hi, Brett and Olivia. The prime minister that deported Sneeko today has imported brides from the Middle East. Please pray for my country." She did not say pray in there, but I saw a chat.
Yeah, Australia. You guys need some help there. So continue to pray for Australia.
Yeah, at least they got rid of Sneeko. That's okay.
Well.
All right, guys, before we get started, as always, hit the like button on this episode and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. Remember to share the episode out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people in your life that you love, the people in your life that you hate. The more people that you share the show with, the faster the channel can grow. And if you send it to people that you hate, you can argue with them down in the comments section about whatever it is that we're talking about. What better way to increase our engagement and help you pass the time? Who wouldn't want to be doing that? Actually, I wouldn't want to be doing that, but I bet you do. So you should go ahead and comment down below. So what are we getting into today? We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. As the the thumbnail tells you, Robert Downey Jr. did this interview. It felt like equal parts boomer and pretentious in a weird way, but there's some interesting stuff there about the concept of influencers, and do influencers have any talent? Are they really the future of media? I disagree with his assessment, which is that influencers are not the future. We're going to watch that video, have a little discussion about it. Should be interesting. I guess it's relevant given the fact that Avengers Doomsday is coming out this year, so Robert Downey Jr. will be back in the spotlight since he hasn't had the most success. Oppenheimer was successful, but box office wise, post Marvel, he hasn't necessarily had the biggest success. I think Doolittle being the biggest of those failures. Right after Endgame, I think that was. It was either after Endgame or it was after Infinity War, one of the two. But Robert Downey Jr., it's interesting. We'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about this lawsuit going on over at Disney with James Cameron. The best way that I can describe this is a young indigenous actress is suing Disney and James Cameron for using her likeness to make billions of dollars through the Avatar franchise. We'll read through the article. There's some stuff from the lawsuit. It's very interesting because James Cameron is also, and this is just a point of my own, he is one of those people that takes the more pragmatic approach to AI. So he kind of understands that generative AI is one of the ways the industry is going. So it kind of leads you to believe that maybe he's never had a problem with just taking someone's likeness and using it of their own volition. But I don't know necessarily whether, what the merits of the case are. So we'll talk about it. We're also going to talk about the fact that Gen Z is cooked, as always, ladies and gentlemen. They're not just looks maxing. They're also now peptide maxing. It's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to talk about that. They're doing anything to get thin these days. At least that's what this article was saying, right? Basically, they'll do anything to get thin.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
All right. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into. If you guys are ready, we can go. Are you ready?
So ready.
Ready.
Let's get in.
All right. As I was saying when we were kicking this video off, Disney and James Cameron are being sued for using the likeness of a young indigenous actress and making billions of dollars on the Avatar franchise. This is very interesting. We're going to go through this article from The Guardian so you can kind of make up your own mind what you think about this. Most of the comments, at least from what I was seeing online, and it's fair to point out that, you're going to find your audience, and whoever it is that follows the accounts that you do might share the opinions that you also have. But a lot of people are saying that this lawsuit is without merit, so let us know what you think about it. This is from The Guardian. It says, Indigenous actress sues James Cameron for, quote, stealing her facial features for her Avatar character, for a Avatar character. James Cameron and the Walt Disney Company are facing a lawsuit that claims that the director based a key character in the Avatar franchise on a teenage actor without her permission. The suit filed by actress Koryanka Kilcher alleges that Cameron, quote, extracted her facial features and directed his design team to base the key Avatar character Neytiri on her appearance after seeing her in an LA Times advertisement for Terrence Malick's 2005 film The New World. In the film, Kilcher, who is native Peruvian, played Pocahontas among a cast that also included Colin Farrell and Christian Bale. A release of the lawsuit says that one of Hollywood's most powerful filmmakers has exploited a young indigenous girl's biometric identity and cultural heritage to create a record-breaking film franchise without credit or compensation to her through a series of deliberate, non-expressive commercial acts.
It's a paragraphed way of saying they stole her face.
That's what they're saying. The lawsuit describes the multi-billion... Well, the filing can't be like 3 words long written in crayon. The lawyer...
I just loved it. I
Honestly,
love
they
the way
should.
that they find a way to get a paragraph out of it every time.
Well, they got billables. The lawyers need to make their money back.
Yep.
So it says the lawsuit describes the multi-billion-dollar grossing Avatar series as a franchise that presented itself as sympathetic to indigenous struggles, all while silently exploiting a real indigenous youth behind the scenes. The character of Neytiri is played in the Avatar films by Zoe Saldana. I didn't even see Way of Water. Or I'm sorry, what was the third one? Fire and Ash. I didn't see Fire and Ash. I enjoyed Way of Water more than most people did, but I don't like with the first one. I remember exactly 0 of what I saw. It just looked really, really good. That's what it was.
Usually when they start getting into those weird like tertiary titles like The Rise of and that's usually where I bow out because I'm like, all right, I'm done. But
So here's what it says. The lawsuit claims that Cameron has not attempted to book Kilcher for the project despite her agent's efforts to get her the opportunity to read for the role. Oh, I missed the paragraph at the top. I forgot. That's the most important one. The release goes on to describe a meeting Kilcher and Cameron in 2010 had after Avatar's film release. At an event, the director told the actor that he had a gift for her, a framed sketch of Neytiri that he had personally drawn and signed. Along with the sketch, Kilcher says that Cameron gave her a note that read, "Your beauty was my early inspiration for Neytiri. Too bad you were shooting another movie. Next time."
Wait, was he shooting a shot there?
Not at a 15-year-old.
She was 15.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Was that like a low-key shot?
I mean, it's kind of crazy to say to a 15-year-old, and it's also like it's creepy as heck, right? Is it? I mean, I guess it could be illegal, but
it's just very illegal.
It's very illegal. Well, saying that to a 15-year-old is not illegal,
what?
though it should be because
this is Hollywood. This is Hollywood.
I will say, like, the lawsuit feels like a stretch all these years later, right? Like if this was like more like closer to when this actually happened, but he's a creep. Don't get me wrong. Dude's a total creep to say that.
And the fact that we just say that that's Hollywood is another reason why I'm okay with Hollywood slowly burning to the ground.
There's more. I'll get into the stuff from the
very creepy,
paragraph.
but also like I don't know if I saw the resemblance that much. I kind of, but it's a blue avatar.
Basically, as the design went on, it became more Zoe Saldana than it did this young actress. But goes on and says, millions of people opened their hearts to Avatar because they believed in its message, and I was one of them, Kilcher said. I never imagined someone I trusted would systematically use my face as part of an elaborate design process and integrate it into a production pipeline without my knowledge or consent. That crossed a major line. This act is deeply wrong. The lawsuit states that Kilcher only learned that Cameron had used her facial features so directly after an interview clip of the director began circulating on social media last year. In the video, Cameron stands with the Neytiri sketch, saying, quote, "The actual source for this photo was in LA Times. A young actress named Koryanka Kilcher, sorry again. This is actually her lower face. She has a very interesting face. Kilcher's lead counsel said that in a press conference that Cameron's strategy was not inspiration, it was extraction. He took the unique biometric facial features of a 14-year-old indigenous girl, ran them through an industrial production process, and generated billions of dollars in profit without ever once asking permission. They keep saying indigenous as if that's
what's
relevant.
pissing me off. I'm like, you know what? No, I don't care. Like, it's just the way they're framing it is very annoying.
Kind of like just borderline race baiting.
So this was a tweet. I'm going to put this up on screen here. This was a tweet that somebody posted with some screenshots from the lawsuit. You can see here, first one. This is like document 1. It lists the names here of the law group, of the people in the plaintiffs, the defendants. Her name is, and this is what it says in this paragraphs that were highlighted. Lead character designer Jordu Shell later confirmed that, quote, we were looking extensively at a photo of Koryanka Kilcher when shaping Neytiri. As Shell began sculpting a three-dimensional maquette, a physical bust of Neytiri, guided by plaintiff features, Cameron rushed in, approved it, exclaiming, that's her, don't change a thing. From that moment, the Koryanka-based facial sculpture was frozen as an approved design for Neytiri. All the subsequent tweaks and iterations of the character were required to preserve that core face. The commercial and now this is the next line down. The commercial and sexual nature of Cameron's directive was made explicit by Shell, who stated that Cameron's design requirement for Neytiri went beyond mere aesthetics. Quote, well, he wanted them to be very beautiful, and I do believe that at some point he said I do believe that at some point, which sounds a bit like he's saying, well, maybe he said this, maybe he didn't.
Yeah.
Says, well, he wanted them to be very beautiful, and I do believe that at some point he said something to the effect of, the audience has to want to F her. I mean, Jim is very plain in his language. He goes on. This statement confirms that Cameron's selection and use of plaintiff's facial features, those of a 14-year-old indigenous girl, were expressly tied to a directive that the character be sexually desirable to audiences. It is against this backdrop that the defendants thereafter incorporated the plaintiff's likeness into a scene depicting sexual content. So they're actually drawing this into essay, like sexual abuse materials.
Like PDF file stuff?
Yeah.
I mean,
this is what the guy said. It says, this is from Rob Freund, says, lawsuit filed today accuses James Cameron and the movie studios behind Avatar of taking a 14-year-old girl's likeness to create Neytiri and using it in sex scenes in the film. I had to ask. Look, there wasn't, from what I recall, any such stuff other than like what they refer to as kissing and then basically intimating mating scenes, but it's not like you saw explicit stuff. It's not like it was an R-rated movie.
I mean,
the point is, they're saying that when they directed this, they did this with an underage character, or with an underage inspiration for the character.
Well, the character's not supposed to be a child, correct? Right, okay. Look, it's creepy.
That'd be even worse. That'd be twice as bad. That would be way
worse, right?
This is already bad enough, in my opinion.
She alleges that the use of her facial features via Neytiri and Avatar sex scene violates California's deepfake porn law.
That's... Okay, that's reaching. I'm sorry. That's look, it's creepy. It's weird. Is it illegal to have taken inspiration from
I don't know how they're even going to prove any of it.
I think
outside
that they're
of this guy's
just
statement.
I mean, didn't he hand over a handwritten note as a piece of evidence saying that he modeled her likeness after this
he
character?
said it, but he didn't write it on the note. So there's no physical evidence.
He has it. You said he physically wrote it on the note, didn't he?
Written on the note?
Was it written on the note? Okay.
Because if that's the case, that's all the evidence they need right there. It's open, signed, he admitted.
Is using somebody's facial features as a design element for a movie or a TV show illegal?
Is that is that governed by the state, or is that a federal thing? Because I would believe that it's probably state, in which case California sucks, and I can imagine it's probably not a thing there. But
I feel like, when does it cross the line of stealing someone's likeness and being inspired
when
by
they're underage? I mean, so here's the thing: is like, as stupid as it is, in most places you're not even entitled to owning your own likeness until you come of age, which means it belongs to your parents.
So shouldn't the parents be suing? I guess because she's not a minor anymore, but the idea is she was a minor when this happened.
It's one of those. That's the thing, is I don't know the ins and outs legally of her being able to do it against having her parents have to represent her.
Yeah.
Here's that clip, by the way.
But the source for this was a photograph that was in the LA Times as part of the promotion for The New World. There's a young actress named Koryanka Kilcher who played Pocahontas in The New World. So this is actually her lower face. She had a very interesting face. And
using aspects of someone's facial features. It'd be like somebody with a big chin and saying Bruce Campbell was the inspiration for this character. I don't know if Bruce Campbell can sue if it's actually Bruce Campbell might be able to.
It makes me wonder if that's a loophole by that they're only using a percentage of her face and not the entire thing, because that's how it works with like songs. If you're gonna rip off somebody's song, you have to change like 70% of it or some crazy shit.
Look, I think it's creepy. I think it's weird. Illegal, I don't know. I don't know the legal standing for what constitutes like, okay, that's just inspiration or you took someone's likeness.
Plus it's California.
And it's California. Also, look, I don't know. I guess I didn't see it, but maybe that's just me. I'm not one to generally notice that stuff. A little, like the eyes, I maybe like the lips a little in the eyes.
But they're not saying it's the eyes. They're saying it's basically the lower half.
Yeah, he said basically the lower half of the face.
But that's still not like, again, so creepy to like.
I was trying to remember what I remembered seeing her in. I don't know if it was Dog, because I did see the movie Dog with Channing Tatum in 2022, and most people probably know her from Yellowstone. She played Angela Blue Thunder.
It's okay, but again, I don't like it because it's creepy, but that doesn't make it necessarily illegal to use that inspiration, even if he's a giant creep about it. I want to make sure, like, two different things.
It is
very different things there.
It is very Hollywood to say.
Like, I'm very morally against it.
It is very Hollywood to say something like that. And this is what I always say when I think that artists, the reason why artists are the way they are is because they're kind of detached from how things look and sound to the average everyday person.
Yeah,
where he says that, and I don't think it's possible James Cameron doesn't even realize
I don't think he meant beautiful in a way of like attraction. It could have just been like beauty. But again.
Well, he chose his words a hell of a lot more carefully in the video we just saw where he used the word interesting
so maybe
as
that
a descriptor.
Was, he realized.
According to Google, it is generally illegal in Hollywood and throughout California to use someone else's likeness for commercial purposes such as advertising products or merchandising without permission, as it violates their right of publicity under California Civil Code Section 33.
So we have to know what that bar is.
How many layers does that last before you're before you're a Navi?
And how long can your lawyer put it off before it actually turns into a thing?
The first thing I thought, I was like, Disney will just bury him in
litigation.
Litigation. Like you're not going to outspend Disney.
Also,
she said part of the profits. I was like, do you know how much part of the profits mean? Like percentage of the profits means
they could pay with
like
that.
Avatar?
They could pay that off with the money from their couch cushions. Like,
also, I don't like how much they're trying to be like indigenous this, indigenous that.
They're
like,
really stuffing that down our throats.
They are, and it's like that makes your lawsuit just like seem more frivolous. So even if you had a good basis to begin with, anyone that's going to look at that and see all the stuff about indigenous populations is immediately going to be like, here we go again with the race stuff. We have a 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie, said the quote percentage of her face is tap dancing around fair use. This is going to be an interesting case that may end up being partial case law for some use of faces in AI.
That was the first thing I thought of, was how James Cameron has been basically talking in a very pragmatic sense about how AI is the future of Hollywood in a lot of ways, and he understands the power that generative AI is going to have for his business model. Funny, given that he's the guy who made Terminator. But the point being that, you know, he's clearly always understood, like even the way they framed it at the end of the article was basically talking about he fed it into a process, but which was like not a process. It was literally like hundreds of thousands of artists' time.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like, it begs the question, how many other times has he done this, you know, and obviously this suggests that he's going to go to this in the future.
And I just don't believe for a second that Disney would lose this lawsuit. I just imagine that they would, at the very least, they'll pay her off a small amount to make her go away.
It's going to be like a one step forward, two steps back thing for a while, for sure. They'll just roll it around till they get tired of it.
All right.
They'll pay her off.
You know, let's move on. James Cameron. We go from James Cameron to trying to save the state of California, to save Los Angeles.
Right. So the Hills actor Spencer Pratt is running for the mayor of Los Angeles. He's running against 13 other people, but the two frontrunners with him, so there's 3 of them, but that's Karen Bass and Natia Rahman. I'm probably butchered that name, but that's all right. The election is set for June 2nd, so anyone living in LA, remember that date, June 2nd. And the campaign is heating up. It's getting closer and closer to coming to a close. So the ads and the media surrounding it are in full effect. The other day, Pratt's team released an AI video on X portraying Pratt as Batman. We're going to watch it here.
Let's watch it right now here. You guys will get a kick out of this one. I'm turn the volume way up. Here we go. Hollywood's on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Please, I'm begging you. There's homeless drug addicts in front of the schools. My children aren't safe.
Where's Rachel?
Look, if you were a transgender migrant, I could get you a free pussy.
Drug addicts closer.
Bass already solved crime. I endorse her.
Next!
Commissioner Rogan.
They didn't even put him in a cowl. They just gave him the
He just puts his
facial,
face paint.
like in Arrow when he does the face paint in season 1.
Please, I just want to rebuild my home. It's been over a year.
Not Hugh Jackman needing to rebuild his home.
Mom, look.
No, he's got the cowl. It's just not on
It's
it.
on the back, yeah.
I guess they just really wanted to drive home that it was Spencer.
This is a machine. If we want to burn this town to the ground,
I feel so close. You can do it, Spencer.
I hope so. I didn't watch the full video until now because I wanted an authentic
tomatoes,
reaction. Yeah, I didn't watch like the full thing. Look, this is kind of playing on the same thing that Trump has done, putting himself into AI. It's just a video format. Is it funny? Yeah, I mean, it's funny.
This is there's a fundamental difference there. I think that when Trump was doing it with Batman and Superman when he's already in office, it's a distraction and it's annoying.
As a campaign ad, it's
As
great.
a campaign ad, it's a cheap way if you don't have the money to actually film a campaign ad to do something like this and try to get people on your side.
I mean, look, Spencer Pratt's pretty base. He's pretty cool. He's been gaining a lot of traction.
Oh, if people don't
online.
know who he is, he was in The Hills, married to Heidi Montag.
Yep, their house burned down in the Palisades last year.
I mean, this is a solid tactic, and this is part of AI. This is going to continue happening. I've talked about this countless times on Inverted World. Anybody that's ever watched it, this is it right here. It is so eye-catching. Even the second you realize that it's fake, but you see what's happening, it doesn't matter. You lock in. You're there till the end of the video once you start. Like, it's just, there's nothing you can do about it. It's so damn eye-catching. You're there no matter what it is because you want to see what happens next.
You want to see who else is going to pop up.
It's a hell of a tactic. Yeah, it's a hell of a tactic. And it's going to be, this is the way wars are fought now.
Right now, the odds are still low. He's sitting below Karen Bass, and I thought what's her name was in the lead at some point.
I think she was, but that's changed after last night's what's it called? Debate.
Yeah.
Debate. They had a debate last night. But there is another clip where Pratt does talk about the Hollywood industry that is in LA. His ex-post reads, "The film industry is the cultural lifeblood of LA," and Karen Basura, he's calling her trash in Spanish. That's why it's funny. But Karen Bass and Atia Rahman chased Hollywood out of Hollywood. We need to eliminate every bit of friction for Hollywood productions to film in LA and provide incentives that put Canada and Georgia to shame. No more fees, fast-track permits, clean the streets. Let's make LA camera ready again.
So this is actually something that's been going on there recently because Gavin Newsom did basically inject more money into the economy through more tax credits. There's a reason. That's the reason the show Tracker is moving from Canada.
But
to
no
actually
Baywatch
film
with the beach.
No, Baywatch, they are filming.
Did they fix
and
it?
They fixed that.
They
just
fixed
as
that
far
because
as
they
I
said
know.
no beach for Baywatch, which makes zero sense.
Let's watch the other video here.
Yeah, let's watch this clip with
Here
that.
we go.
president of multiple studios, Sony. We're going to bring him in within an Avengers team for Hollywood, how we clean up all these permit
Trump
issues.
kind of did the same thing when he said he was going to have like ambassadors to Hollywood with like Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I forget who the other ones were.
And get Hollywood back and make the incentives. Make it. My idea is literally not charge. You want to shoot in LA? We're going to charge you? No, we need work. And then we can, in 6 years, we can come back and worry about that. But putting these
6 years in bad
Sarandos, putting these actual commissions, not to mention, I already met with there's the community budget advocates. They're like LA budget experts. They presented 7 budget initiatives to Mayor Bass. She didn't do one. I'm going to do all 7. These type of budget things where you don't just increase all these payments to city unions or whatever if the budget doesn't have the money. There's going to be a commission that looks everything publicly for 30 days. Right now it's just her CAO. It's like having your accountant and check your taxes like from the IRS. It's all, we need to have outside independent people.
Okay, so the first thing that I noticed that people said is during the debate, they all talked like the board. He talked like a normal person.
Yeah.
They're like, should we give addicts syringes? And they're all like, like they kind of waited for the wind, which way the wind was going to blow. And he's like, no, absolutely not. Get that shit off the streets. They asked if, I don't remember if this was the campaign where they were talking about like, should illegals be allowed to vote?
Yeah, so we have that. That was another clip that you sent. I'm not sure if we have it pulled up here, but from Lives of TikTok.
Can you send me that one? Do you have that one?
I don't have it saved right now. It's in
our,
but I can read you the quotes right now while we wait. The moderator said, yes or no, should non-citizens be able to vote? Spencer Pratt, no. Karen Bass, it depends. And Tia, I'm sure I'm butchering her name, but she said, it depends. And Libs of TikTok said this should tell you everything you need to know. So he flat out said no. They said it depends. I don't know what it could possibly depend on, but he's being seen now as someone who won't just be another, cog in the wheel. He's like, I want to change things. I actually want to do things. Now, the problem is most people in LA don't want that change because they embrace progressive policies that are destroying their cities, but then they're going to blame Republicans for being the ones that are destroying things. Somehow, it's going to be the other side's fault, even though that makes no sense when Karen Bass has been letting all of this stuff happen.
I was told, at least from what I was seeing, that crime is down. And of course, that's the easiest one to fake because if you don't arrest anyone, it's very hard for crime to go up. Murder being down does make sense, unless of course they're that would be a huge scandal if they were reclassifying deaths like homicides or something like that. Obviously, but in general, I think the tone is still people are moving out of California. They're sick of what's going on there. And LA, as the epicenter of the entertainment industry, seems like it's done everything in their power for at least the last 10 to 15 years to prevent progress and keep people from actually getting work done. If you follow channels like Film Threat, they talk to a lot of people within the industry, and they will talk about just how difficult it is to get things made in the state of California. And LA is the epicenter for a lot of that for Hollywood. And if you can't get permits, if you can't get anybody in the local, whether it's the county commission or any of these local branches of government to help you, then they do exactly what Hollywood's been doing for at least the last 10 to 15 years. They ship it to Canada, they ship it to New Zealand, they ship it to the UK, where they get massive tax credits to film these big budget movies. And then we love that here because when you do it in the UK, we get to, we actually get access to the tax records, which means people can actually pay attention and actually keep track of how much these movies cost to make, which is fantastic. There isn't that level of transparency here in the US. But Spencer Pratt is just another example that perhaps it would be funny if the city of Los Angeles was saved by a reality TV star, the way that people wanted Trump to save America, given the fact that he himself was also a reality TV star. Now, of course, Trump has a major background in business, and Spencer Pratt doesn't seem to have that same background in business the way that Trump does. But I would absolutely love to see something like this happen, if for no other reason than it seems like that California has been in a downward trend going the same way for a very long time. Republican or Democrat, somebody doing something different there, like, is it really going to be worse than what it is right now?
I'm sure it could get worse, but I don't think anyone wants to actually find out.
So there was another tweet here from somebody who said, LA mayor's poll, a whopping 88% say that Spencer Pratt won the mayoral debate
I would
last
love
night.
to know who did the polling.
I know, right?
And, like
I only shared it as
It'd be like if Tim was like, who won last night, and it didn't get shared out to like left-wing circles.
Correct.
And then if it was like him versus like Kyla, and he's
no,
like,
this
who
was- it
won
says-
last night?
The post here, it says, is from Channel 4 Los Angeles. So if that was from like a major network, it looks like NBC there, like a local affiliate network.
Yeah, but if conservatives are wanting him to win, they're more likely to answer a phone call or a text message doing a poll
Looks
if they're
digital.
fired up.
Yeah.
That's my point, is like, that's why you can never trust polling ever. It's never accurate. And I know some people are like, well, it's been accurate in the past. I'm telling you right now that no poll actually matters until maybe exit polls on the day of.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know what the most haunting part of that was, and I think might ring the most true. I'm talking about the AI video. Was the laughter from the elitists
Oh, it was so
as
accurate.
everybody's suffering?
Yeah.
Doesn't that feel so accurate to
It
the way
does.
things actually feel?
It feels very
in the
accurate.
industry?
I'm watching the Crisis Party, so my headphones always feel so heavy.
We haven't.
So I know I'm watching
you've
it
got-
so
yes.
that when
Yeah, you're good.
I can stick them back on before the Crisis Party
That's okay.
pops up.
All right. Look, best of luck to Spencer Pratt. We can only hope that they can make some changes. I would love to see more stuff get filmed in California.
Yeah.
Like I would.
You do like that.
Maybe not
Yeah.
like the X-Files, because I always thought it was horrible that they moved the X-Files from Canada to California, because the whole point of the X-Files was to make everywhere in Vancouver in Canada look like some Midwestern town.
Yeah.
Then they had to make everything in California look like either a Midwestern town or just set episodes in California, which I think was like a downgrade.
If Spencer Pratt or anyone on his team ends up seeing this, we want him to come here on
I would love
IRL. You guys should definitely, or PCC, but obviously politics, he's an IRL guy, so
We can have on Heidi
contact our
Montag
team.
and talk about her pop music career.
yes, let's do that.
We got 20 here from Pop Culture Junkie. Says, I have a ton of friends at various levels and positions in Hollywood. They all agree on one thing. LA has looked at the film industry as a cash cow to be milked. The cow has now turned into a bull and is charging back. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. So one thing is true for the kids. This is true of every generation. At least I believe this to be true, which is that when kids are told not to do something, they are eventually going to try to use every which way and method to do the thing they are not supposed to be doing. This is true right now in the UK because they have put age verification on social media. And what we're seeing now is the kids are trying to use every tactic they can find to get around it because they feel like they need to be on social media. And like selfishly, I see that and I'm like, man, I would like my job directly kind of requires me to be on X. Yeah. And I feel like the day that Tim comes in here and says, pack it up, you're out of here. I will delete my X. That would be the best thing in the world. So let's listen to this article from Fortune. It says, Gen Alpha is using makeup to pass age verification tech online. One mom caught her son using an eyebrow pencil. Back in the old days, you'd snag your older sibling's expired license or put on some makeup and try your best to sneak into a bar or 18 and over venue. Well, it's 2026 and the kids are no different. They're using someone else's IDs and drawing on facial hair to get into the hottest venue in town, the internet. That's what they're saying. A new report from the Internet Matters revealed that a third of UK children have found ways to get past age verification systems designed to protect them online, with some resorting to creative workarounds, including drawing facial hair on themselves to fool age estimation software. The report, the Online Safety Act, Are Children Safer Online, published by Britain's leading not-for-profit this is such an aside, but I don't remember what the difference is between a non-profit and a not-for-profit, but, just as an aside. So it's about the UK Safety Act. While new safety measures are becoming more visible across children's online spaces, the systems meant to enforce them are widely seen as weak and easy to circumvent. I think everybody with half a brain probably knew that was going to be true, no matter what. Nearly half of the children report experiencing harm online include exposure to violent and hateful content, despite the Act's protections have come into force. Earlier this week, the UK government said it would impose some form of age or functionality restrictions on social media for under 16s, and pressure is mounting as other countries, including Australia, move to ban children from platforms outright. So this is what they're saying. Fake birthday and borrowed logins and fake mustaches. And since it's from the UK, they spelled mustache weird.
4.5 million children is about what a third comes out to for that population.
So it says the research, which surveyed 1,270 UK children aged 9 to 16 and their parents, found that nearly a third, 32% of children, admitted to bypassing age checks in just a 2-month period. The most common method was simply entering a fake birthday, followed by using someone else's login, which was at 9%. Someone else's device, 8%, and others are using VPNs or submit. Like, imagine you're using a VPN when all you have to do is just type in, yes, I am 18.
Yeah.
Others used a VPN or submitted photos and videos of other people or even fictional characters to trick facial age estimation software. One of the more striking findings involved children physically altering their appearance to deceive the technology. One mother told researchers, "I did catch my son using an eyebrow pencil to draw a mustache on his face, and it verified him as 15 years old." I wonder if it like detected irony and thought he was trying to be a hipster with a mustache, and that's why it said he was 15. Nearly half.
That would have made him like 30.
I know. One or more striking findings involve children physically altering their appearance to deceive the technology. Nearly half, 46% of children, said that they believed age checks were easy to bypass, with older children being even more confident. One said, "I don't even class it as being a deterrent." Another parent told researchers, "If anything, because they've had a barrier put up, kids will do everything they can to be the first to get through it." The report found that parents are not always working against these workarounds. That's the crazy part. The parents are like, harm online? What the hell?
For it.
26% of parents said that they had allowed their children to bypass age checks, with 1 in 6, 17%, actively helping their children get around the restrictions. A further 9% admitted to allowing it or turning a blind eye.
That's terrifying.
Seems like no matter how much things change, they stay the same.
I mean, yeah, like, I'm not going to put this on the kids who are trying to do what they're told they shouldn't do. As someone who's also stubborn, I would do the same thing, even though I'm 28 now.
Kid.
But yeah, being a kid, like, you're going to do that. You're going to do things your parents don't tell you to because you're like, ooh, or like they're like, don't do that. You're like, gonna try to do it now.
Oh, that sounds like the coolest possible thing I could do.
Yeah.
It sounds depressing though, because like when we were when we were kids, don't do that meant like don't go out and get into mischief with your friends, and say what you want about mischief, which I fully support kids getting into mischief when they're younger. I think it's an important part of growing up is getting into mischief.
But it was like going out with your friends and doing things, not sitting on your phone looking at things that are gonna basically bait you into getting this like addicted. Like, I mean, we're going to get into another topic later where we talk about kind of online trends and things people will do to be accepted online. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah. Like, if it's between that, like, if it's between mischief and sitting online and watching Clavicular, I would support you going out and getting into mischief.
Like, we may have been overdosing on Benadryl back in the day in the early 2000s, but we were doing it together.
Yeah, you weren't doing it for an internet
I mean, I never
fad.
did that, but that's,
Well, like, I'd rather, look, this is going to sound really weird, but I'd rather my kid come home, like, with scrapes because they got into some mischief and they tried to climb a tree or something. Then
let's go with that.
Let's just say that. Then
mischief.
My kid,
I came home with a BB in my trachea one day and told my mom it was a drive-by. It was actually my friend Jeff just shot me in the throat with a damn gun because he didn't know that he had one in the chamber. And we laughed it off, went and looked at it in the mirror, and the next thing I know, I'm in the hospital on Halloween getting it removed by a doctor in a clown mask.
Dude. Well,
a doctor in a clown mask? Did that give you some type of, like...
PTSD, absolutely. There were, like, 4 of them.
Horrifying.
And I'm like, you guys really thought, like, in the first... They all made sure to have their masks on while they were coming in. He's like, all right, I'm going to stick this needle in your throat now, little boy. And I'm like, this is the most terrifying shit I've ever seen in my life. And that was mischief.
That's mischief. That's, like, doing things you're like, your parents like, don't go over there, don't go into the woods, whatever. You do it, right? You come back, you're tracking through mud, they know where you've been. That's different than getting sucked into an algorithm that could ruin not only your self-esteem, mental health. Like with kids, that stuff is so important. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough, especially as a girl. When you're a girl, it's hard enough to feel accepted and feel comfortable because you got all the hormones and everything going on. It's hard enough being a teenage girl, I'm sure, a teenage boy, just in different ways. Mm-hmm. But the last thing they need is to be comparing themselves online to other people and doing all these things. So trying to make yourself be older. Also, it feels kind of like they want to be older. Like they're so quick to want to grow up.
It's
kind
normal,
of sad.
But that's normal for kids. Most kids spend their childhood.
It's the biggest mistake of our lives, honestly.
I did not want to grow up. I
Do not get older.
Here's
it's
don't do it.
It's a trap.
Here's one that happened to me. So, for instance, and this one could have gone way worse. I lived right across the street from like a park, like 2 baseball fields, swing sets, stuff like that. And one time, me and a friend of mine were like walking through the park, through the baseball fields, and there was a game ending where it might have been practice. Like a team that was playing had a game ending with like the pitching machine, the one that you actually just put the ball in. And somehow I convinced this coach to leave the pitching machine out. And I'm like, we'll put it back, because there was like a locker that they.
We used to do that all the time, because when the coach didn't show up, that was our coach, was the pitching machine.
So but I was like way too young to do that. And so what we did is we turned it completely vertical so that it would do pop flies. But the thing is, to do that, you have to push the ball like to go through, and my head was in front of it and it hit me in the head, and I
knew where this was going.
I had a bump the size of a baseball on my head going home, and my dad's just like, oh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean,
as you should when you're young.
Yeah,
right?
you should.
Granted, I don't think anybody should do that, because, basically they were like, if it had hit you in like another place, you would have just died instantly.
FAFO was real back then.
It is. But the thing is those are, as dangerous as those things are, those are the memories that make up why millennials are so envious of their childhoods, right? Things like that.
That's why, you don't, nostalgia.
There is no way that I sit around and think I'm missing the days of the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
No.
And I
miss
imagine
the days when it wasn't here.
I mean, maybe there's a Gen
reality.
Z or a Gen Alpha person watching this show right now. I'm sure there's no Gen Alphas watching this show.
Probably Gen Z.
But I can't imagine that they're like, I miss the days of 2005 YouTube. Like, you may do that like in relation to internet topics, but I don't feel like you think wistfully of early YouTube the same way you think wistfully
just
of like life in the real. Like, I think
happily
you can,
daydreaming about
you can miss like the old age of the internet.
Sure, but not like that. Not like.
But you're not
romantically.
Yes.
Like, it's just I don't know.
There's nothing.
I agree.
Yeah, you don't like romanticize it.
More like you miss it just because it's so awful now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In perspective.
Yeah.
Whereas I used to get like computer time, right? That was like what my parents would.
When
give
you
me
had
time.
when your computer was dedicated to one room in the house.
Yes, it was in my mom's like living room, and then it was in the basement at my dad's house, and then I finally had to get a laptop, or I used my dad's or something, and I would sometimes be at the kitchen table with it, but we always had like internet time or whatever, computer time, where we'd go and play games. But I really long for when I used to go out with my friends, or I'd go down to, I still remember their names. I'm not going to like say their names. I'm going to dox them.
Not going to dox them?
No, there were 3 girls. So there was 4 of us total. There were 3 girls that lived on the same street, and we would all hang out with each other and meet up at someone's house and either play in the backyard or play in like the basement if it was like cold, too hot. I miss those memories. I miss being able to do that stuff. And now it just, I don't know. Like, there's no whimsy. We talk a lot about whimsy. We're big proponents of bringing back whimsy.
Well, that's why I'm so against the gritty remake of Casper the Friendly Ghost. How are you going to make Casper the Friendly Ghost gritty?
No, he's whimsical.
We actually watched that on Halloween.
It's a great movie.
And it was the first. I had completely forgotten about it, and I just remember sitting there just like transfixed, and I was like,
Christina Ricci.
Holy shit, I forgot how good this movie was.
Well, there's something, I used to go, I don't know if this is going to be a purely Michigan thing. I'm going to read this 20 and then I'll tell my story. Pop Culture Junkie said, my parents attended a Little League game where a hard hit fastball smacked me right in the forehead when I was playing shortstop, knocked me out, scared the hell out of my parents.
That's a UAP.
That's like when my dad was little and he was going to grab, he was 8 years old, he went to grab a bat while he was playing and someone hit him right in the, he almost died.
That would end up on America's Funniest.
We have to ask him next time we're there. There is a thing that all his friends made at school, like a journal or like a memory book or something. And there's like a piece of his hair in there from when they shaved his head because he had to get like surgery and stuff. We'll have to ask him about it. But that did happen.
I still have the photo of my first concussion.
You do, baby's first concussion.
You took a photo of the concussion.
So I was knocked out, and my friend took a photo of it. on like a disposable camera. To this day, I
still have
I always
that.
want to reach out to him and be
Yeah.
like, bro, you must have been a sociopath, because he took a photo of me jumping the gap, and then he took a photo of me on the ground unconscious, because he's probably like, is he alive?
I mean, back in the day of like
evidence
getting,
of a crime.
because I remember we did some shoots with like a wind up, dude, because we didn't have like, we didn't have a
any
Panasonic, we didn't have a
cameras
handy cam, we didn't have
No.
any of that shit. Your richest friend didn't have a camera, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was one of those things where you're like, shit, I gotta get this.
Yes.
So you're taking pictures of stuff that's stupid. And I remember going back through a lot of those photos and being like, why the hell did I take this picture? But it's because you had nothing else to capture the moment, you know? There's no cell phone.
There's nothing weird about kids wanting to get around restrictions. When people tell them not to do something,
Yeah.
they're going to want to do it.
I just long for the days that, now if people don't know what the party store is, it's basically...
Yes, you'll have to explain
It's
that to
basically a convenience store. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like kind of different. In Michigan, we call it a party store. So if you're from Michigan, you'll know what I'm talking about. I miss the days where my dad would give us $10 and say, you can walk up to the local party store. We'd walk up, we'd spend the $10 on whatever, and then we'd walk back, and it was like not that far away. It was a couple streets away on a main road, and we would go walk up there, get our stuff, walk back, and hang out. I miss those days where like you had, you know, a flip phone or whatever in your pocket in case your parents need to get a hold of you. My dad's like, take my phone, and that's it. I miss that. I don't miss... You know, I kind of miss Club Penguin. That's a lie. But
You don't
I
miss
kinda
sitting here
like,
intentionally hitting your face with a hammer so that you can feel like you look
Right.
better the next day?
Right. There was just something so...
It's literally a
There was no
cartoon.
social media. There was no... I mean, there must have been, but I wasn't on it at the time. I miss those days where it was simply you went online to play a game, and that was it. It was just for a game.
Also, there's something solitary about the internet that's kind of belies the entire group dynamic of getting into mischief. I know I'm kind of being vague with the terminology here, but it's not supposed to mean something nefarious.
You and I should get
like
into
you're
some
like
mischief
you're getting
sometime.
into
Yeah.
trouble. But the idea is like you went out and like the meme is always like you went out and you walked or biked obscenely far and never told your parents just how far outside.
You went farther than you were supposed to go.
Yeah, like and that was part of growing up. Now that for us that ended up becoming part of skating before we were old enough to drive.
Pushing the boundaries has been the driving force behind at least 20 years of my life,
Yeah.
if not 30.
Yeah.
And going on 40 next month, it's the driving force in everything is trying to push the boundary.
And I find the idea of pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable in the real world to be more beneficial for a person than pushing the boundaries of where you're supposed to be looking online.
Yeah.
Because it's just...
That's how we've advanced as a civilization, not this online
Darwinism,
shit,
baby.
but from
Yes.
pushing those limits, testing everything, taking risks, and getting there organically. You know?
I guess part of it is like my own bias, right? Because like for me, the real world held more for it than the internet. But at the same time, I understand that the internet is one of those things
But
that
kids conflate the two now. The real world is the internet to them.
Yeah. You want a quick answer?
because of
Jump
influ-
online.
because of
you know?
Because everything's online now. Everything's on your phone now. So real life is online and online's real life.
I'll just look it
That's
up.
what they say. And I don't think it is. Like, I have a lot of friendships with people here outside of the fact that we follow each other online and the fact that we work together. Those are real world relationships that I have that even if the internet died tomorrow, I could still maintain them because of those relationships. Whereas a lot of kids now wouldn't be able to do that.
All right, let's move on. What would you like to see, cringe or cute of the day?
You know my answer.
Okay, we'll do
cringe.
we'll do
No,
cringe. Oh, you want to do cringe
It's always
first?
cringe first because you need the palate cleanser after, and it's a good one today.
Okay. Do I get a vote?
I
What do you want to
guess.
see? Well, I mean, you have to see both of them. The question
I got to roll the counter to make you the tiebreaker because I want the exact opposite.
No, we
You
have to
want-
do cringe first because of Mocha today.
You already spoiled it.
We mentioned at the beginning of the show.
No,
didn't
we didn't.
It's Mocha's birthday, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. I
Mocha's birthday!
Perfect timing, ladies and and gentlemen.
It was perfect.
Let's
That
just
was
go
so
ahead
good.
and do cue to the day first.
For
then.
Mocha.
Since the timing was so good here today,
Yay.
it is in fact Mocha's birthday.
Yeah.
This was submitted by Olivia Dasovic. Says, today is Mocha's 12th birthday. Her health seems to be improved, minus the hearing loss. I love this little derp so much. Happy birthday, Mocha. It is.
Happy birthday, Mocha.
Wait, did you digitally add the tongue in that one, or was it actually taken?
No, all these photos are authentic Mocha with her tongue sticking out. That's our girl. If you guys don't know the lore of Mocha, I'm sorry, but this is our derpy cat Mocha, who is my perfect little angel and never done anything wrong in her life. She has lost her hearing.
She has.
She used to be able to hear. We found that out a couple different ways. We learned that. We were like, I think she lost her hearing, and then we found out with the blind incident. That sounds weird, but Brett pulled the blinds, and they're old blinds, so they fell. And she didn't even flinch.
Nope.
She didn't care. I love that photo of me and her.
I mean, she looks like she's being held hostage in that photo.
I mean, she was, but she was happy to be held hostage, I think. So we love Mocha. On her birthday and on landmark episodes, we get cue to the day with Mocha. So
all right,
she's so good. Happy birthday, Mocha.
We will do the cringe now. Happy birthday, Mocha.
I love Brett's.
In fairness, I asked for this.
You did.
Somebody should be calling CPS.
Yeah, Elmo's in the back selling the kids dime bags. Like, what the hell's going on?
When I said get into mischief, I didn't mean this shit.
Yeah, this is not mischief. This is.
Comment says Cookie Monster must have had an edible cookie.
No, this is what strippers' day jobs look like, ladies and gentlemen.
Economic indicator when they have to go on to doing that.
Someone said I didn't expect twerking Cookie Monster today.
Oh boy.
You're welcome.
The Twookie Monster. That's what we're gonna call that. The Twookie Monster.
The Twookie Monster, back at it. Yeah, there you go. That's still pretty tame. But this was on the company page, by the way. Okay. That was on their company page for We Deliver Fun. Don't hire them. Bad idea.
All right. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about Robert Downey Jr. He is back in the news, of course, because we've got Avengers Doomsday coming out this year. And he was doing an interview, and he was talking about the rise of influencers and how he does not necessarily believe that influencers will be the next generation of celebrities. It's an interesting idea, given the fact that if you look at Hollywood, I think all of the indicators already state that influencers are the next stage of celebrity. You can tell this because when they go to these movie premieres now, they don't just bring in other actors, they hire influencers to come and do these red carpets to try and squeeze some bit of relevance out of their large fan bases and get them to get people to come watch their movies. So let's listen, I guess, to Robert Downey Jr. We'll listen to most of this, I think. It gets kind of weird at the end, but we'll do the first couple of minutes here and you can decide for yourself if Robert Downey Jr. is perhaps just somebody who's a little bit sour grapes and doesn't realize that the world has already passed his industry by, or if maybe he has a point. You guys can decide for yourself. Also, before we even get started, I want to point out for shame for whoever framed his close-up.
Create celebrity without ever doing much besides rolling a phone on themselves, and I don't look at...
By the way, anybody who criticizes my shirt necks, I want you to look at it's not even a V-neck.
What is it?
It's a U-neck.
It's a U-neck.
Okay.
That is a negative thing. I just look at it as more like the challenge for individuation is being upped, because hopefully the grosser part of our of the youth of, let's just call it America for locality's sake, is going to say, yeah, but that's not my thing. I want to go do something. I want to make something. I want to build something. I want to educate myself, and I want to have more inputs, so whatever my output isn't just a self-aggrandizing kind of influencer type thing. When I hear people talk about, oh, the stars of the future are going to be influencers, I go, I don't know what world you're living into, but I think that is absolute horseshit.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about influencers.
I feel like this guy knew that he just said something that was going to, make headlines. He's like, yeah, you should expand on that.
Actually, tell me more, yeah.
Just because I don't get it to a certain level.
Was that a water sip? Like, oh shit, what did I just do?
When they have something to say, and they're interesting, and they have a point of view, and all of that. But many don't, and they're again, it's back to the old famous.
Hold on.
Something to say, and they're in. Yeah, I wanted you to talk about influencers because I don't get it to a certain level. Now, I understand an influencer when they have something to say, and they're interesting, and they have a point of view, and all of that.
His industry is literally the total opposite of that. People want actors to say less and just do their jobs. Correct?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like, so I'm like, when I think of influencers, I was trying to think of like who I thought of as influencers. Interestingly enough, if you Google it, it gives you names like Cristiano Ronaldo, which are athletes.
That's
and
not
Messi,
influencer.
athletes. That's I mean, no, they're influencers because they have massive social media followings.
Yeah.
But they're not influencers in the sense of a Charli D'Amelio, an Addison Rae.
Even an Addison Rae is now like a singer as well.
The term influencer suggests using one's influence, right? I mean, like the names that were aforementioned, they don't really use their influence for anything, I don't think. Not as much as a lot of these other people
influencers to me are people who got famous through social media and have somehow maintained relevancy, kind of like a YouTuber.
Well, yeah, the maintained relevancy thing is key there because they're actively influencing. I don't think you just get to wear the crown because you did it once, you know?
Like James Charles was an influencer.
That's it, yeah, okay.
He's kind of fallen off.
That was kind of the point I was thinking of is like, so are you talking fashion influencer?
It could
are
be
you
any
talking
kind.
Gaming influencer, lifestyle influencer, IRL streamer, or like you said, a freaking makeup influencer,
there's
like
politics,
a Jeffree Star or
there's
or
politics
James Charles.
influencers.
Yeah.
Now there's claviculars who are streaming influencers, but like a good example of someone that did politics influencing would have been like an Ashley St. Clair, who's now whatever. And then there's who else? Like Emily Saves America is kind of an influencer. Like a lot of them that started before their own little shows. They did their own kind of influencing, and now they have shows or whatever they're doing now.
So he's wrong in the sense that the studios have already made the judgment that the celebrity of the actor isn't enough to sell these movies. If they were, they wouldn't need to bring a bunch of dancing TikTok influencers to do dances at the red carpet of their movie premieres.
Yeah, was that called like the Hype House? Was like the big. What other ones? Sway House. I mean, there was a couple. I don't even know.
Logan Paul could have been considered an influencer.
Yeah, he would be considered an influencer. I mean now he has more of a career, but like he would have been considered an influencer. The Paul brothers as a whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say didn't Jake start before him?
Yeah, I mean, but they had their own.
Yeah, it was the freaking.
I think anyone that got their fame based on social media could be YouTubers, could be Instagram, TikTok, what have you, but they are influencers.
You can listen to more of this here.
But many don't. And they're, again, it's back to the old famous because they're famous. But it interests me that many of them have 1 million followers, etc. Well, that's a lot of people. Now, what does it mean to be a follower? And you know, it's not like you're paying $100 a month to be a follower.
So he's basically saying, like, as long as you signed up for their, for a mailing list that costs money or a Patreon that makes you.
And so it's not hard to be a follower. And so,
but they don't make their money off having 1 million followers. They make their money by shilling products or having if you have 1 million followers, that means brands are going to want to work with you because you can put you're like 1 million eyes on their products.
Well, now they have like micro influencers and
what's micro? Is micro?
I believe it's
100,000?
under 100,000. Let me
Okay.
look up micro influencer. Let me see if I can find what that means.
I think the interesting
micro influencers tend to be anywhere from 10,000 to 100,000.
Oh, okay.
Some say 60,000, and some say consider as low as 1,000.
60,000. It's not 1,000. 60,000.
Some people are saying
makes
it can
sense to me. Okay, here we go.
The question is, when is an influencer about novelty? What is it that gets them on the radar screen of 1 million people? And then the question is, what contribution are they going to make to the lives of those 1 million people going forward?
Okay, so is he trying to tell me, and I mean no disrespect to like a Robert Downey Jr. when I say this, like, is he trying to tell me that Robert Downey Jr. has contributed to my life in some meaningful way beyond just making movies
And
that I
entertaining
enjoy
you for a
watching
few hours,
and
yeah.
entertaining me for a few hours and pretending as if the youth of America who sits and watches the social media influencers that they like don't get a similar type of experience from them. Because then we'd have to break down into a discussion about the idea of influencers making content on social media, people who act in big budget movies, and then maybe the idea of actors who make high art or something like that. But it's all really the same to a person who isn't part of that industry. It's a way to pass a little time. I do believe it matters. I believe that movies as a medium are important, but I don't believe that they should be held to somehow makes them more important than somebody else who also fills a couple of hours in the lives of people.
I would say that like the difference here, influencers are people who, again, not just social media, but brands are moving towards them because when you have a celebrity endorse your product, it's kind of a one and done thing. Whereas you can have
What do you mean?
They'll be in an ad, or they'll have, usually it's like an ad spot, right? Or maybe a post on social media. That's much more rare. But for influencers, it's usually, oh, I'm going to make a TikTok, a short, a story post. There's different levels to what you can like book for influencers to shout out your product. And they have to disclose it, of course. But I think we're seeing a rise in influencer streamers and all that getting these brand deals as opposed to celebrities doing a spot on a commercial. It used to be, there was like that iconic one with One Direction and Drew Brees. And that was like, this was like Taylor Swift and Travis before Taylor Swift and Travis were a thing. Because it was like football people, One Direction fans. There was this, what was it, Pepsi commercial or something? And everyone was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a Coke girly. I drank Pepsi for like a year because of that very commercial.
My gosh. And you're such a, like, I mean, your biggest flaw is that you're a Pepsi hater. Like, like I almost walked at the altar because of when you were like, I don't like Pepsi.
Shots fired.
But it's one of those things where I think you see that more and again because you can capture a younger audience, and the younger the audience, and not that the younger audience has more disposable income, but they're more likely to be reckless with their money because financial literacy has gone down so much that I do think that's why they're going towards influencers and why influencers is becoming the next big stars.
So here's a little bit more of this because Robert Downey Jr. gets into more of it, but this was this guy's framing of it.
And they're very different questions, and the ability to do those things are quite different.
Sure. Well, when you're the first of a generation's version of This Is Ours, you know, like my kids know that we didn't have influencers per se. We had Ronald Reagan, who was in politics and on
Reaganomics,
TV and doing whatever General Electric or Westinghouse commercials, and you know, was an actor.
Are we learning about trickle-down economics right now?
We had Ronald Reagan.
Note. But then you have like the first I was listening to someone who had started a podcast when it was.
So he talks about Joe Rogan, basically. He talks about Joe Rogan and Joe Rogan being like one of the first really big podcasters. Who was the one who was really big? Was it Tom Green? Who was the dude who had like a podcast really early on?
Green did have one.
I don't
know
remember
if he
who
was considered the bigger.
Send me
So here's the part at the end that I wanted to get to.
my now 13-year-old son, Exton, he kind of got caught up in this whole influencer thing, and next thing you know, it's like, hey, if you like the way I'm playing this video game, do you want to send me a donation? And really, it becomes a religion.
Yep.
So there's some.
So what I find most interesting about that is he's kind of denigrating the idea of, I guess, being paid by a studio versus being paid directly.
He seems to be defining it as modern day panhandling.
Yes, and what I thought was funny is like he would have like imagine if Iron Man and the Marvels were both on the Dono system. Iron Man would have cleaned up. Everybody would have rather given money to the dude who made Iron Man than the people who made the bad Marvel movies. So he's actually selling himself short in a lot of ways. And it feels very elitist and very part of a life that has passed him by.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost sounds like jealousy in a way.
I don't think
Not
it's
even
jealous.
like.
I know he just got paid $100 million or what, $200 million or $100 million
I
for.
think he's saying they can sit at home and do whatever they want and get the money for it, whereas he has to go shoot a movie or whatever he's directing or whatever that might be. I don't know if that's like exact, but that could just be kind of subconscious. But he's like,
doesn't get it.
They just sit at home and they make money. Well, yeah, welcome to the new economy, man. Like that's how these things are going. It's just one of those things where it just comes off not just elitist, but also like just the least bit spiteful.
Well, it'll be interesting to see too if this ever comes back to bite him in the ass, because as Brett mentioned earlier, his career wasn't really going anywhere after Marvel.
Yeah.
So,
this is also one of those things where a lot of people who are part of the mainstream entertainment sphere, they also like monetize in other ways. So like a lot of the wrestlers also have like Twitch channels,
or
and
go
they
on
game
shows.
and they go on shows and they do stuff like that. Kai Cenat ends up hosting like all the famous people now.
This guy's actively doing a podcast. He's literally on a podcast.
He's literally on
a podcast talking about this with a podcaster.
Yes.
So I don't know.
I mean, our podcasters, I guess they're kind of influencer adjacent.
Adjacent,
Depending
sure.
on the-
I mean, you have a following, you use it to branch out to people, you give people information, you influence the decisions that those people make. In my head, you're borderline influencer.
So I have seen people make the comment about, and I feel I felt this way about movies or television shows that I really like. When somebody makes a great movie or a great television show, it can be an inspirational part of your life where you're like, things weren't good at this time, but this show was a bright spot in an otherwise dark time in my life, and that's a beautiful thing. I see the same comments end up on like influencers' pages.
It's really weird.
It's weird to me, but to pretend like it doesn't have a similar effect with people is to deny reality.
I mean, yeah, and it's interesting too. I do see a lot of people being like, "Oh, this song was so big, this takes me back to COVID." I'm like, well, let's not be nostalgic for that.
Hey, we're gonna have that again. We got hantavirus coming up.
Don't
Are you
even.
kidding me?
Oh my gosh!
TikTok nurses are preparing their choreographed dances
and the girl
as we speak.
The girl whose baby has like RSV, she's like standing there waiting to be like, my
dance.
kid almost died. But I mean, yeah, like that's the culture we live in. We live in an over-consumerist culture as well, which works great for someone like me who makes little things that people like to buy, like little crochet stress balls and stuff. Look, works great for me. I'm not really complaining about it. But in that kind of culture, when you have somebody on your phone that's actively going to tell you what to buy and show you what to buy and you think it's cute, most people will buy it. I mean, you guys talked about it last week. I watched a video on the way here today about like even Disney overconsumption. Influencers
we did talk about
going to Disney, and they will go into debt, and they will influence everybody to go into debt to go to Disney. There's like this clip, I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, this might have to be a cringe of the day at some point, where this girl goes, she's sobbing, and it's a guy just in a Pooh suit. She goes, "Pooh, I've been waiting 30 years for this," and runs to this dude in the Pooh Bear mascot, sobbing into him. And I'm like, bro is like Disney college program.
I think he's like, to me it was just Tuesday.
I think dude's just like, I cannot get off of this shift soon enough.
Yes.
Like, bro is like, this is insane. Now if a kid does that, it's cute and it's sweet, it's endearing. When a kid's like, "Oh my gosh, mommy, look, it's Pooh Bear," you're like, "Oh my gosh, yes, let's go see Pooh Bear," or whoever you like. So that is one thing, but I'm saying influencers will try to use their money and their means, which just puts people into debt, but it works. And so if you can't really get with the times, I guess it is what it is. But to downgrade what they're doing and the money they're making, I know it's not the hardest job. It's also not an easy job. You have to build up that brand in the first place.
I did find this tweet interesting from Jester Bell. She's got a great YouTube channel. I haven't watched one of her videos in a while, but she does great stuff. Markiplier earned $50 million on a movie with no marketing based on his name alone. Yes, he made Iron Lung, and that movie was as successful as it was because he was able to leverage his massive audience to go and do that, which is why people started misunderstanding what the future of independent movies was, where they thought that perhaps it was the type of movie that he made, when no, if you want to make a very successful independent movie for, I think he paid, somebody can correct me or fact check me if I'm wrong, but I think he spent about $3 million to make it. But it's because he had a massive built-in audience that he could leverage to go see it, and that's great. And Marvel is similarly doing something with Robert Downey Jr. They're using the goodwill that Iron Man had to leverage people to come back to Marvel after screwing everything up in phases 4 and 5 by trying to get people back to put the butts back in seats for Doomsday. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. I do think that perhaps, as successful as he is, I think he's kind of misunderstanding just how far behind he is with these things. But that's just me. All right, let's move on. Mark Hamill needs Jesus.
Yes, he does. You are correct. Star Wars star Mark Hamill has posted, just days after posting a photo with Barack Obama to promote his new presidential library in Chicago, posted a photo of Donald Trump in a grave with the caption, quote, "If only." He said, "If only he should live long enough to witness his inevitable devastating loss in the midterms, be held accountable for his unprecedented corruption, impeached, convicted, and humiliated for his countless crimes," he wrote on Blue Sky, of course. He said, "Long enough to realize he'll be disgraced in the history books forevermore. Hashtag Don_the con." The post has now gone viral, with many on social media saying this is what they've been seeing with left-wing Hollywood celebrities fantasizing about Donald Trump passing away. This comes right after the Jimmy Kimmel incident where now again, we talked about this incident. I think it wasn't nefarious in the way that a lot of people thought, but it was a poorly timed joke where he made a joke about President Trump passing away and Melania Trump becoming a widow, where then just a couple days later, there was a shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in which the perpetrator of that crime had said he wanted to kill top Trump admin officials, likely including Trump in that. So this is that was also something that Hollywood celebrities were like, it's staged, she just wants attention. But another example includes Marvel and DC Comics writer Dennis Camp, who said, "Missed again, sad face," on X following the scare at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He didn't mention Trump by name, but a lot of the users that saw that said the timing was suspicious, the message was suspicious. The post quickly spread, and it was picked up by political accounts and comic book readers alike. So this is nothing new. We did talk about the fact that we talked about this Tuesday with Kai and Libby. We said that there is a desensitization going on right now.
Good job saying. I can never get that one.
Yeah, I got that one.
Desensitization. It's like saying politicization.
Or the dehumanization of people, whether that be a political opponent, somebody you disagree with, or your neighbor. There seems to be this idea that you can just say these things and get away with it. Now, this is particularly disturbing with Mark Hamill after posing with former President Barack Obama. Not that Obama endorsed it. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth. I am just saying to stand with a former president one day and wish death upon the current one the next is insane.
Well, he did play the Joker after all.
I mean, these are the rights we fight for. This is that First Amendment shit everybody's talking about. It's completely legal for them to do this, but it does add a nod to the character of people who suggest shit like this in the first place, and I don't agree with it.
The point that I was making, I posted about it on X, was like, the sad thing is, and I think this is true for the most part of the most politically radicalized on both sides, it's a little bit more prevalent. It's quite a bit more prevalent on the left because they've fixated on a singular person. But one day, Donald Trump will die. What, old age, whatever. None of us live forever. He's going to die one day. And people are going to be like, they're going to be really happy.
Oh, they're going to celebrate.
People are going to celebrate.
It's going to be Charlie Kirk, but
for
worse.
a couple of days, their bloodlust will be fulfilled,
temporarily,
and they'll be full of joy.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be this cavernous hole where their heart is supposed to go,
and they're going to have to unite underneath another common enemy.
And they will shift their focus to whoever the most politically expedient person is. And I honestly believe that Trump suffers from the same thing every time somebody that he considers an enemy dies, and he celebrates or mocks their death. And every time that happens, people come out and say, well, they tried to lock him up. They tried to do this. They tried to do that. All of it being true, not even to say that I think that he's in the wrong to not feel some sort of sympathy for the people that, were so awful to him. What I do believe is that it would be better for him as a human being, like it would be better for his soul to learn to forgive in death those that were awful to him.
Well, he never will. His ego's too big.
That's like your Springsteen buddy bouncing back and saying, hey, I'm glad Donnie's okay. Like, for that all that tells me is that he's not as far left as he thinks he is, and we already knew that. We called him out on that. That's bullshit.
Was legalese. I think he was doing that to make sure they go, hey.
I don't know. And I could see that being a thing because, he's going to be more cover his ass. I don't trust that dude, as far as I can throw him. But realistically, it's like this is the kind of stuff that's just it's not acceptable. There's no place for it in our culture, man. It is what it is. But I agree. I think we're at a point now where, like, you know, whether these people know it or not, they're looking at Donnie and saying, you know, you complete me. Because without him, they have nothing. They have nothing to unite against under. They're going to have to find a new other. I mean, you know, God forbid, it's probably going to be J.D. Vance, you know, but
maybe.
You know, they haven't started really looking at their next targets other than,
I
you know.
I think they've tried to do that with
Sure, they might have him pinned to the board, but no one's going to actively pursue anything outside of, you know, DJT in these eyes. That's all they care about.
I think they see Ron DeSantis the same way, mainly because of his like back and forths with Disney during COVID and stuff like that. Is like if it had been Ron DeSantis that had got elected, they would have turned him into the next boogeyman. But that's why they turned the term into like Trumpism. Like it's so that way even in death they can carry on their hatred for him and have like some type of face to what it is that they despise. And I you know, this is why I would never be cut out for politics or this type of life in general, is because I can't imagine what it does to your soul to have to sit there and live with that anger.
Yeah, and I've talked about this quite a bit. I'm the kind of person that tries not to hate. Even if I don't like something, I try my best not to hate it. I don't want that weighing on my being.
I think this is worse
hate is
than
heavy.
hate.
It is worse.
This is worse than this is beyond all of that.
It's so like it's just so
hate's just not a strong enough word.
Right, like I don't know how.
Look at the Spencer Pratt video. Look at the Spencer Pratt video we just watched.
Yeah,
okay,
it's evil.
What was happening in those videos? These people are being hit by tomatoes and fruits, which used to be a way back in the day of saying "get off the stage,"
Boo,
right?
yeah.
Look at the counter of this. They're hoping for these people to die,
and if you
they are
notice-
actually putting up AI images of them dead in the grave, putting up daisies.
And if you'll notice, it says 2024, meaning like he would have never been reelected. That's
yeah,
what the date
or
says.
that's when this was made, and it's a callback, and that's we were hoping he would be dead before he was reelected. Let's use this photo
like if
again.
only he had never been able to do those things. I think is what the message was there, and it's wrong. It's bad. I think there's something so wrong. Now look. Trump has said a lot of things and done a lot of things that could make you maybe not like the guy, and that's fine. There's still no reason to wish death upon people
That's the thing, like,
that you politically disagree with. I don't get it.
They find what he says objectionable and fine, but I find what Mark Hamill said to be objectionable, and I'm not hoping that anything bad happens.
No, and I called out Donald Trump when he talked about Rob Reiner having TDS after his son murdered him. Same with, we talked about Robert Mueller the other day, or a few weeks ago. We talked about Robert Mueller. I don't agree with him doing that. I don't agree with him saying it's a good, like, I'm glad he's gone. I don't agree with that. I think that, you know, there is some kind of, the PR with Trump's current admin is such a nightmare. Someone needs to just not hit post sometimes and just hit drafts instead and be like, yeah, we posted it. Like,
do you ever do that?
No.
Do you ever send stuff to the? I send stuff to the drafts all the time.
I'm saying to trick him into thinking it got posted.
Oh,
be like,
okay.
oh yeah, it's posted, but it's right next to it.
That, you're gonna get fired if that happens.
Dude, I'd rather it be that than giving the left exactly what they want, which is more fuel to the fire and how evil they're being. It's so disgusting to wish death upon anybody. I mean, look. People have their opinions about some of the most morally bankrupt and evil people. I don't need that on my ledger when I die one day. I don't need to be face to face with God and be like, yep, I wish death upon a person. I don't need that. I don't need that weighing on my soul.
This is a causality of like the mass desensitization of this country.
And,
I mean, and all around the world. I mean,
social media.
You get right down to it, and it's just like, you know, death used to have like a reverence and like a respect about it, even if you didn't particularly know the guy. You know, even if he was your mortal enemy, it used to be, you know, you took your hat off when the funeral procession passed.
Or like mob rules. You never, people were safe at funerals. You would never, even those you hated and were at war
it was
with
a respected area, you know, and there was one of the things that came from actually an earlier Daredevil season. It might have even been season 1 where he's like, you know, it used to be they send your wife flowers, you know, after they plug you. Now they just send your wife with you.
Yep.
That's basically where we've gotten.
It's really sad, and I wish that we could get back to a place. And I think that's why part of me does support like a social media ban for kids, because you're teaching them young to be this desensitized and treat people this dehumanizing. Whereas you don't have to like somebody, but to wish them death or to wish their family suffering from their death because you disagree with them. I don't get how you can be so far gone on either side. There's people on the right that do this too that I don't understand why they do that. you don't have to like someone, even the most, like, there are people who are so morally bankrupt that have done some of the worst crimes I've ever seen. And I'm not going to cheer when they're gone. If they're gone, they're gone. Like, when people are sentenced to death, right? That's something that people want to like. Like, I want to see it. I'm like, why would you want to see someone's life being taken?
Desensitization.
Like,
I mean, these people literally have options in their heads, like parental guidance, things like that, things that you look for in your general settings. They've got these toggled off.
Yeah,
there's a whole list of shit that has now been toggled off in the last like 20 years with these generations, and it's not gonna get turned back on. Like
Rachel Zegler.
It's nervous.
I saw this tweet from Force of Light, who are going to be friends of the show, and I'm going to be doing a bonus episode with them next week. But said, if only, she was quote tweeting what was said. We should not normalize dreaming about political assassinations in this country. Get help, Mark, and preferably repent of your wicked heart that lust for murder.
I mean, that goes for anybody. I don't think, political or not, you shouldn't be lusting for anybody's death. It's just a general good rule to live by.
All right, let's move on. The kids are cooked.
The kids are a bit cooked. So I'm going to butcher the name of this thing 20 times, and I'm sorry for that. But I keep wanting to say a different word. Retatrutide, something like that. Retatrutide is a next generation triple agonist weight loss drug. Try to say that 3 times fast. That teens have now managed to get their hands on as a way of a quick look getting more toned. The peptide supposedly suppresses appetite, controls your blood sugar, and will increase your energy. Some teens have been injecting 0.5 milligrams every week for a month, saying they'd lost 10 pounds already. They also inject melantin, which is a tanning peptide that increases melanin production with minimal sun exposure.
Wait, so like I thought, are like tanning beds a thing of the past? So basically, the kids are looks maxing, and they're going to
boomers are still around. They're still going to the tanning beds.
But the kids are taking the looks maxing to such an extent that they're microdosing peptides and other drugs to lose weight when they're still in high school.
Yes, because they're in high school. They can't go to a tanning bed yet. A 17-year-old told the New York Post, when I first started using them, it felt a bit risky, but I made sure to collect as much information as possible. I felt more confident on peptides for sure. And then she said that, noting she had gotten 2 friends so far to also try them with her, who have also lost weight. What started as a niche trend among bodybuilders and biohackers to lose fat and boost muscle growth is now making its way into high schools, as an alarming number of teens are experimenting with sketchy peptides to address body insecurities, favoring I don't even know.
Was it retatrutide?
Retatrutide. I'm just going to say the peptides, and then there's GHKCU, which is a peptide known to boost collagen, which already naturally produces in young people, so they don't need it.
That's one of the things that Mary would talk about all the time, is like they're taking it so early that
you don't need it.
You still have a metabolism, for crying out loud.
You're good. If you look up the hashtag peptide, it will yield over 342,000 videos on TikTok, many of them showing step-by-step tutorials detailing from peptide stacks to dosing schedules and how to inject them at home. It's influenced by the broader looks maxing culture, where young people are encouraged to optimize their appearance. Peptides are framed as shortcuts for a rapid transformation, and access is way too easy. These products are labeled not for human consumption, which allows them to remain on the market in a legal and medical gray area with minimal oversight, allowing users to get their hands on them through social media, Amazon storefront, messaging app dealers. One of them was, what's the one?
Telegram. Telegram,
or websites that will sell them directly to consumers. These research use only peptides are also typically less expensive, costing in the low to mid hundreds, whereas if a doctor was compounding them with pharmacies, they would cost a lot more. It's alarming different practitioners. So they interviewed a practitioner, Dr. Samantha Nish, who is a licensed NYC clinical psychologist who specializes in child and adolescent psychology. She often sees in her practice a quote, increased pressure for teens to manage and improve their appearance, in part driven by social media environments that reinforce comparison and idealized standards. So she's saying there's never a done. You're never perfect enough. You're always going to be needing more. You're always going to need to be more perfect. And there's another guy, a psychotherapist, John Poles, who says that he has known a very familiar progression with his patients. So it usually starts with working out, trying to look better. And then it becomes obsessive, tracking calories, weighing your foods, and eventually injecting peptides. Over time, that focus will interfere with your daily life. Teens will start to skip meals. They will skip family dinners. They will isolate themselves so that they can maintain a strict routine. It creates an obsession cycle with anxiety and isolation across both genders. For boys in particular, the pressure often centers around a hyperlean, muscular physique driven by people like Clavicular, who built followings of almost 600,000 on Instagram. And with women, of course, it's being skinny, maintaining a model-like physique. The difference is how early these things are happening, noticing that children 9 to 10 can be engaging on trends online.
Yeah, they're going to start
so
seeing that stuff
scary.
that young. That is terrifying.
So scary. So
it mentions here, like, user Sydney Haddon, age 18, the risk of this unregulated and expansive market is worth the seeming reward. It didn't take much convincing for Haddon to use rhetoric, which is hailed as a weight loss champion, with even early studies showing it significantly more effective than its predecessors, like, of course, semaglutide being Ozempic. No matter how much she dieted and exercised, the 18-year-old told the Post that she couldn't shed stubborn weight from her stomach and face, making this particular peptide enticing. This is the quote. I know many, many people my age and younger on peptides as well. More than I could count, she said. I feel pressured by the sudden trend of looks maxing or just overall trend of just fixing yourself. It's hard to be a teenage girl and seeing these easy fixes to some of our biggest insecurities being promoted so heavily. She told the Post that peptides have also helped her lose around 20 pounds in 2 months, coming from numerous places, including U.S.-marked brands from and also from suppliers in China recommended to her by friends. Ugh. They all had their official labels and proof of real peptides, she said. I never felt unsafe taking it. Users like Haddon often use the drug in combination with others, a process known as stacking, to optimize the results. Teens mix concoctions akin to a high school chemistry lab using powders, water, and pressure and precisely measured doses. While some still live under their parents' roofs, teens exercise discretion. Some invest in mini fridges hidden in their bedrooms, while others hide their peptides in a fake soda can in said fridge. What if your brother or sister
tried to open it,
and
there's like a needle in there?
Well, they make the fake ones, but that's for. I mean, that's literally
usually like a safe for like if you go to the beach or something and you
for your
stick
wallet
it out there.
your
keys. I didn't know this was a thing, but they interviewed a longevity doctor who said these can affect your metabolism, your appetite regulation, and hormone signaling. When you're developing, interfering with those systems will have long-term consequences that we still don't fully understand. And then the tanning peptides will add another layer of uncertainty. Side effects can include racing heart, high blood pressure, flushing, and headaches. The risk-benefit ratio just isn't there right now.
It's terrifying.
I mean, it's scary. You know, we talk a lot on this channel about how we do want kids one day, and then I read these stories, and I'm like, so they're never getting online. We're cutting our Wi-Fi. I don't care. We'll pay the data bill. They're never getting online. This isn't happening because this is so scary.
We'll pay the data bill.
That's what I'm saying. Just like, it's basically to not have our kids have that easy access. Now, of course, there's not getting them the Wi-Fi password, not allowing them to connect to it. But it is very scary to know what is out there right now and what kids are focusing on. And I said this earlier when we were talking about Gen Alpha. It's already hard enough to feel like you can fit in. And so adding this layer of it and saying it's some easy fix when it can affect you long term and could ultimately, if the effects are bad enough, could actually lead to something chronic or fatal. It's really scary to think about your kids doing that. Or like, I'm older Gen Z, right? So I'm like the cusp. I'm the very top of Gen Z and millennial, like right there. Call it zillennial is what people will call it when you're in between. I'm there. Gen Z goes down to like 14. I don't feel like I am the same as, the 14 to 18-year-olds that are currently in high school. I don't think I align with them in their lifestyles at all. I feel I align more with millennials and their lifestyles. I didn't grow up with social media in the way that so many of these kids are now. When I felt like I was, too ugly, too fat, whatever, I just dealt with that. Or I would go to a therapist when I was in high school. Like I dealt with it the way that people used to deal with that, which is you're a girl, you're going to have insecurities and comparisons, and you cry to your parents about it and they reassure you, and life goes on, and then you look back in 10 years and you go, wow, that was so not important at the time. Like, why did I think it was so important? That's normal. But kids are now so much in their phones, they won't talk to their parents don't know what they're doing.
Well, yeah,
and now they're
parents,
sneaking collagen peptides.
And the parents probably don't know how easy it is for them to gain access.
They probably
to
don't
this
even know
type
they
of
have
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
that's so scary.
I can't imagine being a kid these days where, like, you know, it's not like having bad influences was ever new, right? There was always bad, whether it was, you know, people in your neighborhood, there was always the risk that you would have bad influences in your life. But that bad influence doesn't even come from somebody in your orbit anymore.
No,
like,
it could
as
be
a
anybody
parent,
in the world.
like, as a parent, you could have at one point been like, look, those kids are bad news, don't hang out with them. But now the kids, you know, depending on what age you give them a phone, they have access to just an unbelievable amount of awful bad, you know, awful and bad influences without you having any knowledge, you know, at all.
Yeah. And it's like the best thing in that scenario, you know, and the way that it used to be, the way that I was raised, is it was just like, you know, your parents did the best they could to prepare you for whatever outcomes, whatever people, whatever situations you were going to find out there. They tried to prepare you as best as they could for as many scenarios, but realistically, they knew there were going to be things that were going to happen that they had no control over.
It sucks.
They weren't going to be there to help you with the decision. You were going to have to make it yourself. And all that they could hope is that they parented you well enough for you to make the correct decision.
I do think I got very blessed in that sense. I always mention my dad because I love my dad. But I know he's watching because he was texting me.
Oh, was he?
He was texting me.
Here.
We love him. Yeah, I got very lucky. Again, strong father figures can also help with this. Any of this kind of behavior. This goes for radical feminism. This also goes for thinking you have to follow every online trend. Having a strong father figure in your life will change that. Also, having a mother figure as a girl who can tell you, I went through the same exact thing when I was your age. And of course, you never believe her, but you look back on it, you're like, that was probably true. So I was very blessed. My mom was a big help. My stepmom was such a big help as well. She came into my life when I was 8. So she's known me for quite a while. 8 or 9. I was 9 when she came into my life. I'm sorry. So 19 years I've known her, and she helped me through a lot of those years. And I think Brandon's right. Like, having the right parents and that stability at home is also very important. Knowing what your kids are doing online. My parents knew I had a One Direction 5 Seconds of Summer fan account online. There was no danger in it at that time.
At that time.
Have you not heard the story?
I don't know if I want to.
If you guys are wondering, she did disclose this before we got married.
Before we got married, no. I walked down the aisle and I leaned
get,
over and went, by the way. I did, but you know what? At that time, that was the safest thing you could do.
And then I told her about my Angelina Jolie fan club that I had.
I would tell him about
younger.
like the other people that were like around my age. There was like I was probably like 14 at the time, other 14-year-old girls that like we'd FaceTime, so I knew it was actually a 14-year-old girl. And my dad would like we'd like FaceTime. We were like friends. My dad would know who these people were though, because I'd say, oh, my friend, one of them was like Clarissa or something like that. I think that was her name. And he would be like, oh, how's you know, this person do it. Like, it was one of those things.
Wasn't the 35-year-old guy in
because I would be on
Wisconsin,
FaceTime and be like, say hi to my dad. And, like, you know, I mean, it was a lot safer back then somehow. It, like, felt like they weren't really in those, like, those creeps weren't in those circles specifically.
They definitely probably were.
Not in my circles.
So
I was safe.
The thing that I find most alarming, I suppose, is, like, back in the day, the idea of drug use was specifically for the notion of like getting high and like escaping the world for a little bit. Now it's not even about that. It's literally about self-optimization, which is like a dragon that you can chase forever and never actually catch. Like, you're never, like I said, kids will experiment with substances, and most of the time they grow out of it. They shouldn't be doing it at all, but most of the time they grow out of it. With stuff like this, if you instill that level of self-loathing early on, they're never going to feel good about themselves. Like, there's something terrifying about that to me. Like, to me, as somebody who, as everybody knows, has been in recovery for many years. The idea of an eating disorder terrified me, maybe more than any of it. Yeah. And the idea of that type of like body dysmorphia in a way is the most terrifying to me
It's
because you
more
can
common
never get
in
away
women
from it.
as well. It's very common in young women.
Yeah, but what
and
they're
so-
saying here is basically that it's starting to happen to men too.
It is. It's starting to happen to young men too. It just manifests differently, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would say it's know what your kids are doing. Obviously, I'm being a bit over dramatic when I say our kids will never ever be on the internet. It's definitely hyperbole, but
maybe when they're 30.
My kid will
they
never
can
be on
date
the
when they're
internet because
married.
I'm not going to have one.
They can date when they're married. But it's one of those.
Anti-natalist propaganda. You heard it.
We
here
don't
first.
do that
It's fine.
here.
We don't all need to have kids. Just some of us. And you breeders are doing a great job. Don't listen to what they're telling
So just
you.
have enough to make up for it. No, but it's definitely one of those things where knowing what your kid is doing online, checking your kid's phone, not in a way of controlling them, but just to be aware of what they're doing. Like if you see them say something like, my mom's so stupid and she's a B word, don't ground them. Like just be happy that's the worst they're saying about you. Like that's my approach to it, is just knowing what's going on, right?
My kid called me a bitch. I'd be like, oh, your ass is grounded.
I'm okay with grounding.
Who's the bitch now?
I shudder to think of where the youth are going.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Shudder to think of where the youth already are, dude. Like, it's not like we're out of
I
that
think I
neutral
was the
territory,
last.
man.
I
We've
was
crossed the
like-
line.
Like anyone before 2000, that was like it. 2000 hit and somehow y'all got real screwed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to super chats here, and we will hear what you guys have to say. Maybe I'll pick Brandon's brain if we have time about Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, good.
Which I feel so bad for Olivia now that she has to. So the other day, a couple weeks ago, guys, I bought my tickets.
I was so close to offering Brandon my ticket today.
I bought my tickets for Mortal Kombat 2 a couple weeks ago, and I watched the 2021 movie when it came out on HBO Max, and I remember feeling vaguely unsatisfied, but not disliking the movie. Rewatched it the other day. I did dislike it. All the characters constantly just exposition dumped and announced who they were, with their whole chest. It was very, very stupid. The violence was cool. The gore was cool. But I kind of forgot how much there actually was at like the bookended fights between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And then the stuff that happened there was a lot of violence. Olivia doesn't think much of violence in movies. And after
gore.
when I was watching it, I'm like, oh, she's going to hate this.
Yep.
So,
And we were trying to pre-show explain to her the difference between a horror movie and the fatality executions that
But
you were
it's
going to
scary
see in
either
Mortal
way.
Kombat.
I think it was Melina that gets cut in half by Kung Lao's hat. I don't remember who it was.
It is Sindara, whatever the chick with the wings was. I can't
Nitara?
remember. No, was it?
One of them,
Melina got blown out stomach-wise by Sonya after she takes her Arcana from Kano.
But she gets basically cut in half by Kung Lao's hat.
Yeah.
And it looks comical because it's very CGI.
Yeah.
It's not like you saw.
He turns it into a table saw in the sand and literally pushes her through it like she's a 2x4. And it's amazing.
And before that, Jax has his arms, frozen and then pulled off. And I'm just like, Olivia's going to hate this.
And the
Kano
worst
was
part,
busting his balls. Oh, you're fucking kidding, right? They make those in men's sizes.
it's too dark to bring crochet.
Yeah.
Because I could stick in an AirPod and crochet the whole time.
Yeah.
I was so close just because Brenda was like, oh, I might go see it. I might not. I was about to be like, look, man, you and Brett want to go on a little date. That's okay.
On Friday night?
I can stay home.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, I could just spread out over the two chairs and sit sideways.
You could. And I'm still debating that option because the more I hear about this movie, the less I want to go.
Yeah.
But the money spent on the ticket, so I
already
was
been
like,
spent.
Oh, we've got
Maybe
Carl
Brandon would
Urban
wanna
as
go.
Johnny Cage coming up, which some of the previews I've seen.
hey, Brenda,
I'm
what are
kind
you
of
doing
excited.
tomorrow at like 9:50
9
p.m.? Like
I
10
mean,
p.m.
I will say that I didn't.
Depends on Tim.
I
That's
didn't
true.
end up hating Cole as much as I remember everybody being pissed about the Cole character.
No, I didn't hate him. The thing is,
I was far more annoyed by all of the like Kung Lao and Liu Kang coming up and saying, "I am Kung Lao.
Yeah,
I am Liu Kang."
my-
Like they're literally talking to the screen, basically.
my grievance with Cole was more personal because at one point he's like, I'm just a kid from the south side of Chicago. And I'm like, no, you're not, dude. I'm a kid from the south side of Chicago. You don't even have the accent. Shut up. No one believes that, not even you. Stop. Okay? But like, it was like, kind of like what we talked before, we went live today, was that kind of like acting that everybody had in it was generally. I don't think they saw that movie going past one movie.
Maybe not.
In my head, I think they were like, "Hey, we got our thing. We're gonna do it." And then if everybody likes it enough to get a sequel, sweet. But we're not going to expect it. You know, like
if they had only expected it to be one movie, they would have done the tournament.
Well, here's the thing: is they kind of did. Movie 1 felt like more like a pilot to me. No, you didn't get that kind of vibe.
Movie 1 was very clearly the setup for the second one because they knew the tournament
but
wasn't
you're
going to be the second
that.
one.
Knowing that there's a possibility that 2 might not happen if 1's not successful, right? You have to set it up, otherwise it's not going to be there, and you got to do all this writing to explain it, later on.
The act of not including the tournament meant that they stop it. Meant that they knew that it wasn't going to get a sequel, or that they needed it to get a sequel.
I mean, yeah, ultimately that's the goal. We want a sequel.
Make the other face.
But
no, we're not doing that one.
That's right. You're not brave enough to make the other face.
I'm not doing the other one.
I'm going to post the picture of it. Okay.
I'll
Super chats. I apologize. Oh, also the guy who plays. So my other problem. The actor who plays Scorpion is fantastic, but he ends up behind a mask most of the movie because he's so. But he's the only one who looks old enough and like rugged enough to act. Oh my gosh, he's actually Hiroyuki.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah, but that guy's great, but he's behind the mask the whole time. But then the guy who plays Raiden looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid because he's got the puffy cheeks. And then the other guy I just look at as, the guy who plays Shang Tsung is just Lao from The Dark Knight. and then the guy who plays Liu Kang looks like he's 12. Like, he's jacked, but he looks like he's 12. Robin Shou, when he played Liu Kang, was fantastic, and maybe it's just because it was the 90s, but everybody looked old back then, and it was great.
Yep, I'm kind of. I want to see what Martin Ford does. Shao Kahn is rumored to be in this movie. Okay. Played by Martin Ford. And if you don't know who Martin Ford is, he's this huge, jacked ass, tattooed, bald guy. So, in my opinion, sounds like it's going to be a cool Shao Kahn.
They had Brian Thompson played Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and he's a great character actor.
Not him, Annihilation. We talked about this.
Too bad you will die.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth remembering that movie.
Too bad you will die is considered one of the worst line deliveries in movie history.
That's pretty rough.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Dasovix and Brandon. With the bad movies, should we change the name to Throw Up Thursday or wait until y'all have watched Geely?"
That's yucky. I don't want to do that. Also, chat's flaming me for not being interested in your interests. I have seen plenty of movie I don't care about.
How about you be interested in your husband's interests?
How dare you not watch blood and gore?
It's the blood and gore. She will watch any movie that I want to watch that she has no interest in, but the blood and gore makes it.
I've seen plenty of them that I didn't like, but look.
Yeah.
This one is a bridge too far for me.
Even when I was watching it, I'm like, I probably should have not made her go.
Yeah, so that's why I
mean, you still don't have to. We haven't done it. All right, Greg Duvier says, "Happy birthday, Mocha."
Happy birthday. I know you guys think it's silly. I don't even care. It's my kitty right there.
I think that giving cats birthdays was created by the cat toy industrial complex as a way of selling more toys for cats.
Like I said, I give her extra treats, the treats we already had, and that's okay. She gets a little extra pet, a little extra treat, a little bit of catnip or whatever. She don't really like it that much. But and then a toy that she maybe forgot she owned, right? Like that
was a hard accusation right there, bro. Like you have this, like, this is a thing in your head. That was sincere.
It was just like Hallmark created.
It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's my conspiracy.
Damn, chat's really mad that I don't want to go to this movie with you. They're super pissed.
They shouldn't be.
They think I'm weak.
They shouldn't be.
I mean, weak, pathetic fools, I've come for your souls.
To be fair, guys, if she was like, we're going to go watch episodes of The West Wing at the theater, I would just leave her there.
Brett would also leave
There's a new Sex in the City movie coming out. I'm going to stay home and just drown myself in the bathtub.
That's not my thing,
you have fun,
that's very fair.
If she was like, we're going to watch a West Wing newsroom double feature, I would just I would drop her off. And then she'd start walking and look behind, and you'd hear the tires squeal.
Are you talking about the show, The Newsroom?
I have gone to, yes. I have gone to.
I love that show.
Thank you.
That is literally.
Thank you.
I'm not even kidding. That might be like one of my all-time favorite shows. I have watched.
Other than that one stupid speech he gives, it's a good show.
And that was what kicked off the entire show.
Yes,
honestly,
exactly.
that speech was not bad. We'll get into this on another show. I think we're going to have to go into this because. I have watched that show probably front to back.
Oh my gosh, no,
over 100 times.
That's interesting because it's not nearly as popular as The West Wing was.
No, but Aaron Sorkin, I think, did a damn good job on it.
Aaron Sorkin is a very talented writer who writes stuff I don't want to watch.
Yes, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but the way that he covered the newsroom, the way that it plays out through all the eras, and they find a way to tackle all of the major landmarks that happened in this kind of time frame, like the BP oil rig, the Obama elections with Mitt Romney, all of that shit happening, the Boston bombing. They recreate these live scenarios with actual facts, actual characters that actually really act out well, and it's very quick
character
paced.
dynamics that are actually accurate to what
It's
a newsroom
witty,
would
it's
be.
intelligent. It's not for everybody. I have had some of my ex-girlfriends, I have had them watch a couple, and they are just not there for it. And I'm like, okay, damn, this is not going to work out, honey.
I like the way it's quick moving. Yeah, look, I'm gonna defend myself and say I've seen every movie Brett has asked me to go see with him. This is the first one I have flat out been like, I don't know, and then he's even been like, I don't know.
You never even said that. I said that. I felt bad.
But then I was like, I was gonna go purely because you wanted me to go. But then you were like, well, maybe not. And then I saw the first one the other day. He was watching it.
You did not watch it. You sat there and
I
did
saw
everything
like
but
parts
watch
of it.
But
and
That's not watching.
I saw
But
like
that's fine.
2
Like I
minutes
said,
and decided and I'm not that person. So I do really like.
Also, Chad, I would like your thoughts on this for me. So my weirdest take when it came to the movie was R rating is fine, bloody gore and violence, yes. The swearing felt forced and stupid.
Yeah.
Kano swearing, I guess, is fine. All the rest of the swearing felt
his was the more natural.
Like
his felt way more natural.
It's like they made Jax say the F word a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's anything wrong. And this is my own fuddy-duddy take. How about we let the bad guys swear and only the ones that are human? Because like, why would do people in Outworld swear anyways?
Well, I mean, if you're Keanu Reeves, you're a good guy and you're swearing and it's awesome. Like, look at Speed.
I don't, but I'm saying for this movie.
But yes, I get the call. I get the call.
Because the game, like in the early games, wouldn't have had it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happens in later games. But the point is, the violence makes sense for the R rating. The swearing didn't. And that is my boomerist parents television council take of America.
Yeah, sometimes it is too much and you're just like, can we just stop?
It felt like they had the R rating.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we should use it and tell everybody to
No, and you guys know me. I love foul language. I use it all the time as much as humanly possible. And when YouTube said they were rolling back the terms on the F word, I threw a party. So, but I like it when it's natural. I like it when it's free flowing. It sounds like you're talking to somebody that you know, not when it's just absolutely forced. Kind of like he said with Jax. Kano, it felt like it just kind of flowed. Like when he called Kung Lao Kung Pao, I almost pissed my pants. Like just little things like that. No,
racist.
No, but it turned into sit down, shut up, and pass me a fucking egg roll. That's and I liked the way that it carried with him. But I got to agree with you. Everybody else's character just felt forced. Even when they weren't swearing, it was just like, ugh.
I am Kung Lao. I am Liu Kang. I am from here. Blah 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 blah. It was awful. And then I'm Sonya Blade. Here's every fact I know about the tournament. It's on a board. All right, Brian Bledsoe says, Brett, any recommendations in Minneapolis? Heading there for SummerSlam. That's awesome. What do you mean recommendations?
Like places to go, food to eat?
Don't go to North Minneapolis, especially if there's protests going on.
Yeah, we didn't spend much time in Minneapolis. We usually go to St. Paul, so I really don't have anything.
The Blue Door is in St. Paul. I think it's still there. I love the Blue Door.
There's one at the
airport.
So if you need something to eat at the airport,
it probably costs like $60,000.
Yeah, but that's that's what you pay to go to the airport.
Stay off the bridges.
Yeah.
Don't go over.
Don't go to the bridges.
Stay off the bridges.
Olivia hates bridges.
I white knuckle that one bridge every time.
And I like when we were going over the bridge on 35W. I'm like, this bridge.
Dude, we drove.
Dude, it was so bad.
Did I tell you that when we were on tour the last time? I think I was. No, it might have second to last time I was up there. We drove over that bridge, and it was 2 weeks before the bridge collapsed, and that was our way in and our way out. And I remember we got home, and we were just like a week later, we saw it on the news, and we were like, dude, no. Like, we were just there. That was the bridge that we were on, and it was so just like, I'm never going back there ever again. you know, and then Joliet had the same issue, so that's fun.
Yeah, no, he told me this is like, he's really bad about this. Like, this was the worst time he could have been. Like, instead of like after we passed the bridge, we're like on the bridge going decently
This
slow.
one collapsed, I said.
This one collapsed. You know, one time this one collapsed and it was like recent enough history.
But to be fair, what are the chances of it happening twice?
Yeah, because that's going to make me feel so much better in the moment.
It almost
I
makes me
was
wonder if he did that to like kind of like assuage himself that he was going to be okay. That's kind of like a comic release.
I've been going over bridges like
hey man, this thing looks great since they pulled it out of the river.
I hate flying, and one time I was like, we hit turbulence, and I was like really scared, and Brett's like, well, if we die, we die. Like, that is so unhelpful to say to your, I think at the time, just girlfriend too, which is crazy. Like, not even married yet, and you're like, well, if we die, we die.
It takes some getting used to, but yes, you need to kind of have that mentality to even feel any kind of comfort in a plane like that, especially a small one.
But Brian, have fun at SummerSlam. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I wonder if they're still going to walk back that Brock Lesnar retirement and have him actually finish out his career at SummerSlam. Maybe he can lose to Obafemi a second time, and that can kind of be Obafemi's like assertion of dominance.
If there's
Brock Lesnar twice.
One thing we know about wrestling retirement, it is that it is rarely permanent.
That is true. I mean, I think AJ Styles is done. AJ Styles is like old now. I don't.
Sure, but it doesn't stop anybody from coming back for a one-off pay-per-view, winning the belt, and then retiring on Monday Night Raw and handing it back over. You know, this is just the way that word works.
Shane H. Wilder says, "Put a birthday derp on." We already did, my friend.
We did. We put Miss Mocha on.
Birthday, Katie.
Birthday.
Shane H. Wilder says, "God, we're going like month 3 of the cough now.
Yeah,
it's insane."
Bad.
Shane H. Wilder says, should I await my lawsuit for blatantly using PCC likenesses?
Yes.
Also, random Bruce Campbell fact, he is a Kentucky colonel like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, a Kentucky colonel is like you do stuff for society and you get a colonel.
Like,
you know who else is a colonel?
Who?
Bob Dylan. There you go. That's for the Mortal Kombat
So
talk.
is the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy.
Yes, Colonel Sanders.
Is he a Kentucky colonel in Kentucky, or is he a colonel elsewhere?
You know, it's Kentucky Colonels. There's a website. You
Okay,
can look
so
them up.
then Kentucky can keep Bob Dylan and get him the hell away
There's
from
a lot.
me.
There's a lot of colonels, like Kentucky colonels, which is kind of crazy. I'll see if there's anyone else that pops here that's like interesting, but keep going.
Pat the Plumber says, my sister's friends got a cameo from Spencer Pratt in his Hummingbirds like a decade ago.
That's really cute.
That's awesome.
I wonder if he has them all dressed up like little bats now.
Probably.
The most like old lady thing I want to do outside of the fact that I sew and crochet is I want a porch goose one day to dress up. You can get a porch goose and dress it up by the season. And I used the old lady down the street that owned the funeral home used to have one that she'd dress up every season. It's been wearing the same thing now for almost a year because she died. So I have half a mind to snag it, but I won't do that to her family. I want one.
Shane H. Wilder says, Katie says, social media bans are BS. I am 30 years old. Substack demands I prove my age to use it.
I mean, I think it's a good way to save, kids from... I don't really like the government being involved. I just don't know what else you can do outside of... With so many bad parents out there, I don't know what else you can do, but I do get your point. Guy Fieri is a Kentucky colonel, by the way.
That one's okay.
I'm gonna keep giving you.
You
some,
should
keep
be based in
a lot
America
of presidents, vice presidents, but I'm trying to find any that are Henry Winkler. The Fonz.
The dad. Besides the Fonz, he's the dad from Royal Pains. Hey.
Keep going. I'll keep looking.
Forgot about him.
Shane H. Wilder says, we all got up to mischief. I will not mention some of mine because of statute of limitations. Bro, I'm guessing that's definitely hit the statute of limitations unless you killed somebody, which I'm guessing you didn't.
Why is Jack Harlow a Kentucky colonel? Anyway, moving on. Continue.
But we went out and our parents did not help us do it. Yeah, like your parents should not help you get into mischief. Just like, look, it was romanticized to be a teenager and go out and sneak drinks and stuff like that. But there was always something nefarious about the cool aunt that would let you drink as long as they got to take your car keys. Many bad things happened. Shane H. Wilder says, my parents kept the cast and Snoopy sling from when I broke my arm roughhousing outside with my dad as a 5-year-old. She loves
parents keep weird shit. What is that?
I got Snoopy today. I love that.
Like my first haircut.
Really?
Like I had like a freaking rat tail or something, and I
It's
used
like
to get my ass kicked for it in
It's a
school.
memory of, it's like a first, right? It's like a milestone.
Yeah,
for
but like my
kids.
mom cried when she was cutting. I'm like, it's gonna grow back.
Yeah, but women
so
are
many more times.
sentimental.
Like,
We're
and then
but
having
it's
it in a
never your
bag
first
30
haircut
years
again.
later.
Okay, that's kind of weird. But
like,
it's never your first haircut again.
my stepdad used to make fun of it because she would just kind of pack rat all of this stuff, and he'd be like, "Oh, look, that's my grandma's piece of toilet paper
Yeah,
that she
Dad.
used in 1986 in like a
I
Ziploc
know.
bag," and I'm like, "That's honestly hilarious."
My dad's
Disgusting.
listening. I wonder if he has a photo of the hair that's taped to the book that from his getting his head shaved or whatever when he got hit in the head. If you do, send it to me.
And yeah, Katie, I get it. All the moms are gonna hit me hard with this sentimentality. I get it. You know, I hate being the Loki of the situation, just being like sentiment. You know, but like it's like, come on, just throw this shit in the garbage. Are you really gonna move that to 5 different houses? It's hair.
Shane H. Wilder says, for a second, I thought Brett set off the party. I did not,
No,
but you
it
can
was
help
timing.
me. I could do that, but we need to get a second party.
The timing was really good. Timing was really good.
It's also one.
Corey Anderson says, not all cultures are equal.
Okay, I'm going to ignore that because I know exactly what it's in reference to because I saw it come in.
Shane H. Wilder says, when you have a Christ-shaped hole in your heart, it has to be filled with something, usually hate and sin, which is why their hate changes with the winds.
That's fair. Very fair.
That's Not Cool says, well, now I have to know which One Direction dude was your fave. My little sister was obsessed, and hers was Liam. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Liam Payne. Mine was Louis Tomlinson. That's the answer.
I don't know any of them apart from one another.
Louis. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know how to tell you. Louis.
Shane H. Wilder says, Olivia letting Brett be in an open relationship with Brandon was not on the 2026 bingo card.
They can, if they want to go...
What happens in the Mortal Kombat premiere theater stays in the
there.
Mortal Kombat
I let them go out and do what they want. Look, that's okay.
Don't ask, don't tell what happened when you went to the Mortal Kombat
Exactly.
Hey, the military does it.
Yep, we do it too.
Bob Ma'am says, "Happy birthday, Mocha. May the fish be may the fish be fresh catch today."
Yeah, she gets her she'll get her favorite pate, even though we already give it to her half the time anyway. But she loves mixed grill. She will get mixed grill today.
Shane H. Wilder says, "You know I clipped you, Olivia. I'm guessing it's when you were making the face."
Look, a girl only has so much she can do sitting here while they're talking about Mortal Kombat.
These ladies just don't want us happy, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's reality.
Pop Culture Junkie says, having worked in many a TV newsroom, the newsroom that is very accurate and entertaining, look how many show stars went on to have great careers. Yeah.
Yep, very true.
All right. Pop Culture Junkie says, favorite Minneapolis place, the Loon Cafe. I don't know if I have a favorite Minneapolis place. It's been so long since I've been out there that I don't know. Chief Corey Anderson says, my wife has all our son's baby teeth.
I think we have some of my teeth that were like taped to like a card. I think I left like the tooth fairy a card once. And I think my dad was talking about it because they were cleaning out the basement. I think there might be a tooth somewhere.
What are you going to do with all of those teeth?
You don't
it's like
know.
a detective's gonna find it later and be like, who died?
You're gonna make a necklace out of them, which is even creepier.
I think we have a little treasure chest where I put a tooth still that they used to give you in school when you lost a tooth at school. They give you these little treasure chest things to put them
Well,
in.
it used to be, your teeth freaking fall out. You put them under the pillow. Your mom sneaks in after she drugs you with some crazy cough syrup or whatever.
You mean the tooth fairy?
I mean your mother.
You mean I don't like that Brandon doesn't like any whimsy in his life. We need to whimsify him.
I abolished whimsy
no,
when
you did
I
not. We're
became a
bringing
man.
it back.
Whimsy.
The day I grew into
so is the tooth fairy.
Mandem.
We allow whimsy here.
Yes, we do. This is a whimsy.
Well, that's fine, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
It was the tooth fairy.
Christopher in the chat says, I hope this movie isn't a wedge issue in your marriage.
You guys are crazy if you think anything from this show comes off as a wedge issue in our marriage, but okay. You guys are crazy if you think we talk about any of this after we hit.
It was funny though, because when I was watching him, I don't remember. I remember the Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight at the beginning being bloody, but I didn't remember the rest of it, probably because I was half asleep.
Yeah, I mean the last one was pretty bloody too. Sub-Zero bled a lot.
Yeah.
The initial fight was really Scorpion taking out all of the extra goons, them getting to it, and then he catches his own freaking what do you call that thing?
What
is that thing called, actually? I can't think
the
of it right now. His whole, like, the whole knife on, like, a rope thing.
The rope. I'm sure it's got a name.
It does. I just can't think of it right now. It's going to drive me nuts. I'll look it up.
There you go.
The internet.
All right. We are all caught. Let me double check and make sure
really?
that we are all caught up on Super Chats. We absolutely are. We are almost done here, which is pretty impressive that we got through
You guys
all
can
that.
see it. It won't show on the camera, but this is dated June 22nd, 1971.
Kunai.
You can see it here.
It's a kunai.
Dad's hair. Kind of long hair for like an 8-year-old, but that's okay.
Pete Tran got to it quick, said kunai and chain.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Kunai.
We have one more from Corey Anderson. He said, me? I ain't doing nothing with those teeth. What my wife may do, who knows?
Weird, like witch rituals or something? Black magic?
You can kind of see it on there. I guess
that.
if I turned this down, you guys would be able to see my dad's. He heard my shout out. You guys will be able to see
one more
dad's
from
hair.
Oh, go ahead. Yes. Greg Duvier says, I like tortoises, and the right lane is for crime.
Today.
Tortoises.
And the
That's what
right
he said.
lane is for crime?
It's not.
Who are you?
And, and the shoulder is for passing all this bullshit and getting to where you're going.
Don't do that. We do not. We don't
endorse crimes in this house.
Criminality here. Okay, we're all caught up, guys. Hit the like button on this episode, please, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. Please and thank you. And if you made it from the beginning of the podcast to the end of the podcast, thank you so much for watching the whole thing. We appreciate it. All right, where can they find you?
You guys, as always, can find me at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Thank you for having me back. Thank you to the Dasovics, as always, and maybe I'll see you guys next week.
Yep.
We love having Brando here. You guys should comment turtle if you made it to the end of the episode, and comment that. I feel like that's a good way to track how long people make it in the episode. So if you get to this part, say turtle down there, or an emoji, that's fine too. You guys can follow me on X or on Instagram or both at Olivia Dasovic on both those platforms. You guys should go to timcast.com, hit join us, become a member of our Timcast members only exclusive Discord server where you can have conversations with us, cast members. You can call in and talk to Tim and the panel or maybe the guest that night, or watch our pre-shows, after shows, morning shows. We got a lot going on in there. You guys should check it out.
Perfect. If you guys want to follow me, Instagram and X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Spotify. If you'd like to listen rather than watch the show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. That is a great way to help us out, so thank you guys so much for that. Social media, we're on X at PopCulture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We'll be back with another episode tomorrow for the Friday episode. We will see y'all then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.